The Astros have suffered defeat in the first two games of this three-gamer. And this afternoon from the cell in Chicago, the Astros and White Sox hook up for the sixth and final time of the year, with Houston needing a win for the season split. Nine-game winner Jared Cozart gets the assignment. Hi, everybody. Alan Ashby and Jeff Blum with you. And it should be an interesting afternoon, I think, starting right about now. But Kike Hernandez is the guy we're going to start with. Kike is a guy that's played only 14 games, and yet we're talking about him on the pregame show. He has been that good.
And rightfully so. He's done everything that we want to see from a big league ball player. He's aggressive on defense, going to get the ball. Today he's going to go out there in center field and give it his best effort. And Bo Porter's quoted as saying that he's the one guy that's going to go out there and get the ball. But look at the batting average, .318 since being called up on July 1st. Goes out there and has some quality major league at-bats. We've seen him get deep in counts. When he gets in that two-strike count, he shows the ability to go the other way. But just a real delightful guy to watch run around that ball field.
And we mentioned that Jared Cozart gets the start today, his 19th of the year, a 9-game winner for the ball club. Jared Cozart has quietly moved along and having a very nice season.
No, he's doing a great job. If he goes out there and has another great game today, he could get that ERA under 4, but also be that first 10-game winner for the Houston Astros. We know that he's got electric stuff being a youngster in that rotation, but you can see July getting roughed up a little bit. The record's 1-1, but that ERA jumped up a little bit. But he's got a couple more starts here in the end of July to correct that a little bit. I know he's looking to go out there and throw that nice hard cutter and get those numbers down.
Coming up, leap year. It's been 3 years to the day since a young second baseman made his major league debut, and he's been going 100 miles per hour ever since. Julian Morales talks with Jose Altuve about his first 3 years in the big leagues when we return. Houston Astros baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is presented by Jack in the Box. Head to Jack in the Box for the new Jalapeno Ranch or Barbecue Ultimate Cheeseburgers at participating restaurants. And by AT&T UVerse TV. Find out what's possible with ATT. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT, mobilizing your world.
offense. Now, 537 hits later, 3 years later, I'm with Jose Altuve inside the Astros clubhouse. Altuve, what do you remember about that day? What memories do you have from your Major League debut?
I know. First of all, I want to thank God, for 3 years today. And that was a very special day for me. I couldn't believe I was playing with Michael Bourne, Hunter Pence, Carlos Lee. And like I said, I was very happy. I got my first hit in the 8th or 9th inning. Line drive to right field. And, I think that was the most exciting moment in my life so far.
How far have you come in these 3 years, do you think, as a player?
Man, I think the time goes quick because I remember that day like yesterday, and I just enjoying every day here in the big league playing with my teammates, and I'm gonna do everything I can to be spending time in the big league, and not only 3 years, maybe three more, and just keep playing.
Where will you be in 3 years? You were 21 years old that day, 24 years old now. You're old and wise. I joked about that earlier. But now that some guys are getting called up, including George Springer, who is 24 years old, these guys don't have as much experience as you. Do you find yourself being a mentor to some of these guys around you?
No, I think we have a young team, and I think we support each other. We're a mentor for each other. He helped me, I help him, and the same with the rest of the guys come to me and say something that really helped me, and I try to do the same with him. And I think that's the good thing about the Houston Astros, that we are supporting each other even when we have a young team.
Awesome. Well, it's been fun to watch you these last 3 years. Here's to 3 more and many more beyond that, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Altuve. Jose Altuve and the Astros get started in just a few moments. Jared Cozart on the mound for the Astros, taking on the White Sox as they try to win one of this 3-game set. Don't go anywhere. First pitch after the break.
Field. The Astros have dropped the first 2 games in the series to the Chicago White Sox, who are playing pretty good baseball right now. The Astros trying to get it turned around and win their first game now of the second half of the season. Here's a look at the Astros starting lineup presented by Jack in the Box. In the top 3 spots, Jose Altuve at second. In center field, Kike Hernandez. He's everywhere. Chris Carter is the DH. Middle 3, Matt Dominguez at third. At first, it's John Singleton, a late scratch to bring Singleton into the game. Carlos Corporon gets the start behind the plate. And the bottom 3 in right, Robbie Grossman, LJ Hoses in left, and at shortstop, Marwin Gonzalez.
For the Chicago White Sox, it's going to be left-hander John Danks out of Round Rock High School. You see his numbers on the year. He's going for his 9th win. ERA right around 4. 119 2/3 innings pitched. Fastball, changeup. Great changeup.
And that tends to make him stronger against right-hand hitters than against lefties. Lefties have had some success against Danks. See how it fares for the Astros this afternoon. Jose Altuve in that leadoff spot and watches the first fastball sail high. Danks, a former #1 pick, 9th overall by the Texas Rangers. That way back in 2003. His entire major league career has been with these White Sox. 3 years ago today, Jose Altuve made his debut in the major leagues. A member of the Astros got a hit in that first game, went 1 for 5. And a nice interview there from Julia talking with Jose. And he's a very quiet, unassuming young man. Just a great fella to be around. He takes a strike. It's 1-2.
Ain't nothing like that first big league hit.
And he said it was probably his greatest moment so far in the big leagues. Here's a soft liner going to drop in left field. Altuve at it once again. Leads off the ball game this afternoon with a single to left.
Little cutter. Gets in on those hands, but Altuve, we've seen this year, doing a good job of turning on the baseball, brings the hands in nicely. Just a good professional hitter.
With nobody out, it brings up Kike Hernandez, again getting the start in center field today, and he's earned it. Wherever he gets the nod defensively, he has created his own opportunities to this point. He's been fantastic. Kike Hernandez hitting .318. Already 14 hits in the big leagues. That in 14 games now. Has a home run, 5 RBIs. He's played it short. He's played in left and in center. He's been a DH. And he's proven he can swing it as a pinch hitter. Danks immediately in front. It's 0-2. John Danks came originally to the big leagues in 2007. And lifetime in the bigs. He's got a losing record at 69-80 for 18, the lifetime ERA. That slide step will shut down running games. Jose Altuve continues to lead the league in stolen bases. Danks has allowed 9 stolen bases in 11 tries, though. There goes Altuve. Ground ball is going to find the hole. Vacated at shortstop with Altuve on the move. It's back-to-back hits, Altuve and Hernandez, and the Astros making some noise here in the first.
That was some kind of special. Is there anything Kike cannot do?
I haven't seen it.
When he has a hit and run, he places it in the perfect spot. Not even a hit and run. That was just a steal and put the ball in play. 2 strikes on Kike. Gets himself an off-speed pitch, rolls it over.
You know, some guys have the magic, and I would say early on, Kike is one of those guys that feels like he just kind of has the player magic. Runners at the corners. Chris Carter, the 3-hitter this afternoon. He's the DH.
Well, and Kike is one of those guys that treats the game right and respects it, and I think it's showing some love for him right now.
Yeah, and all the people around the game. I'm sure you've had the same opportunity. I went up in Anaheim and introduced myself to Kike, and he stood up just very politely, and he wanted to be able to say hi, and it was refreshing. 1 ball and no strikes, or rather 0-1 on Chris Carter, excuse me. Matt Dominguez, the cleanup man, waits on deck.
My .318 attitude was a lot better than my .218 attitude.
Yeah, it can be that way. Yeah. I imagine Rory McIlroy right now is pretty friendly to most folks.
Congratulations to him.
Yes. Winner of the British Open. Chris Carter has done well against the White Sox on his career, a .313 mark, and has 6 home runs mixed in against Chicago. Hits one in the air, center field. This should be plenty deep enough to score Altuve. Under to make the catch is Eaton. Tagging from third and scoring Jose Altuve. 1-0 Houston. 1 out here in the first inning.
Great AB by Chris Carter, getting that RBI sac fly to center field. And we just saw that Adam Eaton is out there in center field. Alongside him is going to be Alejandro Diaza in left, Dayan Viciedo in right field. Around the infield, Connor Gillespie at third, Alexi Ramirez at shortstop, Gordon Beckham at second base. Jose Abreu, after taking that hit by pitch on the right thigh, is back in there at first base. And Adrian Nieto behind home plate working with John Danks.
So Chris Carter still without a hit here in the series against Chicago, but has picked up a run. Matt Dominguez now stands in, 1 out, and Kike Hernandez aboard at first. There's the changeup. This one stays up, and that's the pitch that John Danks specializes in.
The Astros have got to be happy to see that up in the zone. If that ball's down in the zone, that means he's got a pretty good feel for it early on, but still kind of searching for it. And the couple that we have seen him throw, he's slid step and thrown the changeup.
There's the move to first base. But the Astros were not afraid to run. Altuve on the move to create that little hit and run like play.
Get movement out of that infield, open a hole for Kike. John Danks has 26 pickoffs since 2008.
Runner goes, and the pitch fouled on a line down that first base side. More and more here in the last week to 10 days, Matt Dominguez has been hitting balls sharply to right field.
I think most big league hitters, when you see them scuffling a little bit, you can tell they're trying to work on going the other way, because usually that means they're letting the ball travel, trying to make the adjustment and bring that ball to them. When you're struggling, you're trying to lunge out there, your head starts moving, and you try and hit the pitch before it gets across the plate.
And for Matt Dominguez, it is a bit of a struggle. .234 the batting average. Ground ball to third. That'll back up Gillespie. He'll get the out at second. And on to first. 5-4-3 the double play. That'll do it for the Astros in the first, but they get a run on a pair of hits and leave nobody. 1-zip Houston. For Chris Carter. And now for the Chicago White Sox here in the final meeting of the year between the two teams. That lineup: Adam Eaton in center, at short Alexi Ramirez, and Jose Abreu, the big stunt at first base. Middle three: Adam Dunn, he's the DH, Dayan Viciedo in right, and at third Connor Gillespie. And the bottom three in left, it's Alejandro Diaza, Gordon Beckham's at second, and doing the catching, the youngster Adrian Nieto.
Right-hander Jared Cozart making his 19th start, going for that 10th win. ERA getting closer to getting underneath that 4 range, which will be nice for the young man. 105 hits and 105 2/3 innings. Last outing, according to Bloomberg Sports, he only threw 2 pitches. 78% of them were fastballs, 22% were curveballs. See if he tries to mix that up and get that changeup back into his repertoire.
Like to see him throw the change, but sometimes when you're struggling a little bit, maybe feel whatever it may be, just minimalizing can help you be able to find things at least. Of course, Jared Cozart keeps on winning, a 9-game winner, as Blummer mentions. He will face Eaton, Ramirez, and Abreu for the White Sox here in the first inning. White Sox lead in the series by a total of 2 runs, and yet they've won both of the games. And they've won 3 of the 5 on the season series. The Astros took 2 out of 3 back in May early in the season. Two balls and no strikes. Cozart falls right behind.
Yeah, Jared won that start last May 17th against these White Sox. 5 innings, 3 earned runs. Last outing against Texas, Jared got the win also, only going 5 innings and giving up 5 earned runs.
That little cutter finds the heart of the plate. 2-1 the count. Adam Eaton hitting .276. Just 1 home run on the year, 25 ribbies. What he's done well is score runs, 42 of them. And 3-1. Well, Jared Cozart hits the hill and has a hard time hitting the strike zone. Adam Eaton with 4 hits already in the series and 8 at bats. One of those a triple. And now 3-2. Well spotted from Cozart. And a nice frame job by Carlos Corporon, who always does a nice job behind the plate. A 3-2 here for Cozart, and it's fouled on the left side. Up to the second tank and bounces down to the folks below. We've had over 28,000 each of the first 2 games in the series. Maybe a little under that figure this afternoon. Sunny, hazy day here in Chicago. And again, the 3-2 is fouled off. These White Sox playing pretty good baseball right now. They're 47-51, just 4 games under 500. They're 8 games back of division leading Detroit in the American League Central. The Indians are 4.5 back, Kansas City 6, but Chicago could make it a 4-team race. Blummer last night said 0 the chances for the White Sox, so we'll see how that plays. And the ground ball inside the bag and outside the dive of Matt Dominguez, a leadoff single for the White Sox.
Take a look around the diamond for the Houston Astros this afternoon on getaway day. LJ HOU's out there in left field, and the ever versatile Kike Hernandez making an appearance in center field with Robbie Grossman staying in right field. Around the infield, Domingo, Margot, Altuve, and Singleton, who's in for Guzman, who was a late scratch out of that Astro lineup. And of course, probably one of the better backups at catcher in all of baseball, Carlos Corporon.
Boy, he's done a nice job.
He's been a joy to watch play. He's been a joy to talk to. He's just an all-around good guy.
Yeah, he has been all of that, no doubt. Alexi Ramirez at the plate. Ramirez hitting .281 in an all-star campaign, 8 dingers on the year and 41 ribbies. Adam Eaton as a leadoff man, not a guy that runs a lot, just 1 stolen base in 1 try this year. Now let's take that back. He's 8 of 14 on the full season.
You don't have your anti-glare shield for your computer today?
Little bit tough. Let's get the sun by here. How's yours working?
Yeah, it's bright. It's in full effect today.
1 ball and 1 strike.
Altuve gets some sunglasses from the dugout.
Apparently he's trying to read the computer as well.
Maybe he's got those Google glasses and he's looking up stats in there.
Curious. I'd like to put a pair of those on sometime.
It would be interesting. I'm starting to need things that close to be able to read them.
The 1-1 pitch. Just inside from Cozart. Jose Abreu, one of the many great players out of Cuba now. That's become a hotbed of Major League ball players. He's from a town called Cienfuegos. It's on fire. Cienfuegos, Cuba, and he's been all of that.
Rather appropriate.
But we stick now with Alexi Ramirez. Bo Porter trying to pick up one win here in this 3-game set to start the second half. Cozart's 2-1. It's that good fastball that leaves you scratching your head as to why he doesn't strike out more.
Pretty healthy act from another Cuban, Alexi Ramirez, but yeah, that's good late movement on that cutter. Just the slightest little movement away. Jared throws firm, and you throw firm with late movement like that, you'd expect the strikeouts to be more than 67 on the season for Jared.
And got him. So there's one of those tough to come by strikeouts for Cozart. Out number 1 here in the first inning. Adam Eaton remains at first. And now it's Jose Abreu. This guy has been a total stud here with the White Sox. Right-hander all the way. There's the good over-the-top curveball from Jared. Abreu with a couple of hits in the series. 2 for 8, one of those a double. Infield plays for the double play. And quickly 0-2. Jared Cozart going hard here early.
97 on the gun.
There is some talk that maybe the gun is a little lofty here.
Well, and Tony Sipp throws in the low 90s. He came in last night after a nice extensive all-star break, and his first pitch was 95 miles an hour. I think that was the indicator for me.
I think Steve Stone, former Cy Young Award winner, was the one filling us in on the possibility that the gun could be a little lively here. Stoney and Ken Harrelson from the radio booth, or rather TV booth, for the White Sox will join us in the 4th inning, so check in on that one.
Let's hope the White Sox do not hit a home run.
Here it is, the Hawk, Ken Harrelson on the right, Steve Stone on the left.
Because I'm going to be tempted to jump in there.
Are you?
Or how about if the Astros, Springer's not playing, but if Singleton jumps up and launches one, can I or you
put it on the board?
Say put it on the board? Would he take offense to that?
Oh, I don't think so. Not if you do it anyway. Pitch just inside. The appeal provides no results for the Astros. 2-2 the count. Yeah, save it up. That'd be good.
Let's hope for good things from the Astros. If I say it a couple times, it might get to them a little bit, though.
Could happen. It's already 1-0 Houston. We played just a half an inning. And down on strikes, Jose Abreu. That's the 4th time he has struck out here in the series. 2 down in the first inning. It brings up the DH, Adam Dunn.
Good hard hammer from Jared Cozart early in this game. See, that one really didn't jump out of his hand. Had a little more of a fastball trajectory coming out, then bites at that last moment. Get a good hitter like Abreu to swing and miss.
And Adam Dunn, one of the many Houston products playing in the big leagues. We've gone through some of the numbers on Adam. Phenomenal stuff through his career. Should be able to get to 450 home runs shortly. There goes the runner from first. Pitch outside, the throw down just a bit late. Perfectly done by Corcoran, but too much of a jump to get Adam Eaton.
Altuve Margot may have tagged him right in the skull. Helmet flying, glasses flying. Pretty good jump. Not a bad throw by Corcoran.
Stolen
the
base.
Ball
Yep.
hit him right in the helmet.
Stolen base number 9 for Eaton. Ooh, yeah, you're right.
Bit of a yard sale.
It's a case of, as the shortstop, you go to reach for the ball and your glove gets stuck on the head or body of the runner.
Thank goodness the helmet stayed on.
So Eaton in scoring position. 1-0 the count on Adam Dunn. Big hole on the left side. He squips one back to the screen. 14 bombs on the year for Dunn. And there's that figure just over the 450 mark at 454. Two balls and a strike, and that pitch was close behind the plate today. Marcus Patillo, he got abused a little bit at first base last night. DJ Rayburn is at first. Dan Bellino at second, and at third base, Brian O'Nora, the crew chief. There were some reviews last night, a couple of them on plays that had to be reviewed. It was just not good umpiring, quite frankly. Pitch is high, 3-1 on Dunn.
It'd be great if one of these replays, before they get to replay, the umpire comes down and goes, look, I blew it.
I blew it. Let's go ahead and change it.
Can we just move on? But that play at home plate last night,
that was a tough one.
That was a tough one, and that one took almost 4 minutes to review.
Yep.
But you're talking about how bad some of those replays were.
Curveball's outside. Dunn draws the 2-out walk. Runners at first and second for Dayan Viciedo.
Those two reviews you were talking about was a play at first base and a play at second base, and both. The first one was 38 seconds to get back from that one. The next one was a minute 12. So those were pretty easy calls.
Yeah, I think on that first one, the 38-second one, all it required was a couple of giggles from the guys in New York, and they realized they blew it here.
They had a couple punchlines waiting for them when they put the headset on.
Alexi Ramirez had not only hit the bag, he was just about to land his foot behind the bag when the ball was caught at first. He was initially called out, but really makes you wonder at times. Dayan Viciedo hitting .242, 12 bombs. Starts the bat, holds it back. And then there was the one at second where, for whatever reason, Jose Abreu went in standing and was a semi-stride still from the bag when the ball was caught by Altuve. He was called safe initially. And Blummer's good point was that maybe the only question was at the time, did Altuve have his foot on the bag? You hope that was the case. A ball and a strike. Cozart brings it, and that's outside. Twenty of the 36 RBIs for Viciedo this year have come with 2 outs. Jose Abreu leads the White Sox in that category. 21 2-out ribbies. And now 3-1. So Cozart a pitch away from loading him up. As waiting on deck is the left-hand hitting Connor Gillespie.
27 pitches already in the first inning for Jared Cozart. We've seen his struggles in the first inning. Yet to give up a run.
Eaton and Dunn the base runners. And the fastball hit deep to center field, but going back now at the track to make the play, Kike Hernandez. Nice play in center. That'll do it for the White Sox. Cozart gets out of the inning despite a hit and a walk.
2nd here in Chicago. And make sure, if you're watching the game, you're also following along on Astros In-Game Live. That's on csnhouston.com. Also, vote for player of the game. The winner will be revealed here in Astros Post-Game Live. Late lineup today, trying to figure out what they were going to do with George Springer and how he was feeling. But then there was a late scratch. Jesus Guzman originally was supposed to play first today, but wasn't feeling 100% last Thursday. That was that voluntary workout that the Astros had during BP. He had to stop, dealing with some back soreness, and obviously not feeling 100% today as well. He was hitting in the cages and wasn't ready to go just yet. So Singleton facing the lefty, guys.
Thank you, Julia. 1-0 Houston. We go to the 2nd inning. John Danks has delivered a strike to the first baseman, John Singleton. He's in the 5 spot today. And now 0-2 the count. John Singleton has had success against left-hand pitching. That off-speed pitch in the dirt. And it's also, as we said, been one of the problems for John Danks. Left-hand hitters have done fairly well against him. John Singleton has hit .300, in fact, against the lefties. The changeup thrown, and it gets the strikeout. First strikeout recorded now by John Danks.
Such a tough thing when you anticipate that day off. You've been struggling for a little bit. Go into that day game against a left-hander and you see their name not in the lineup, maybe relax a little bit. Take a mental break, and then the guy comes up lame and you got to go into that lineup. That's a tough assignment for anybody.
With 1 out, it brings up the catcher, Carlos Corporon. Carlos hitting .257. He just does a great job. 5 dingers on the year. Switch hitter, never matters who he's playing against, and just seems to always give you a solid performance behind the plate. So Jason Castro gets the day off, or at least the start of the day. Tomorrow an off day on the West Coast. Ball club flies after today's game into San Francisco and will play the Oakland A's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. One pitch fouled off. Got some birdies in your future, Blummer?
Yeah, they have wings, not actual ones on the golf course.
Well,
I haven't played in a while, man. I stink. But I'm going to go out there and give it my best shot, Alan.
Don't start with excuses now.
I don't have to. You see my game. I don't have excuses. I just stink.
Try to come back with that gamer statement after making excuses. That doesn't work.
That was just cliche. I was just throwing that out there for the sake of conversation. There was no meaning behind it.
That's the conversation we're up to right now, huh?
As long as I get to pick up a couple of beverages on the turn, we'll be all right.
You know what? I don't think you want to play that guy in the next booth, Ken Harrelson. He's pretty renowned as a great golfer.
Yeah, I'm beginning to find out that my time up here in the booth, I need to focus a little bit more on my golf game.
Yeah, you're slipping.
Well, I wasn't one of these. You know, obviously I don't have as much time as you guys up here in the booth to relax and go out.
Stop, please. Strikeout of Corporon, back-to-back punch-outs here in the 2nd inning. 2 down for Robbie Grossman.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in today's game. It's going to be brought to you by Ice Cold Miller Lite.
You love to get the back of your head rubbed.
Maybe that poor kid behind is feeling a little neglected.
Line shot, Robbie Grossman, first pitch swinging, lines one into center field. 3rd hit for the Astros. That's nice to see for Robbie.
Swing the bat. Get on that first pitch. You like it, tear it. You don't see Robbie do that too often. That's the Houston Astros numbers when they swing at that first pitch. Well, John Maley, I'm saying, hey, boys, how does that there and jump on it?
How does that fit with being patient? You know, and here's the deal on Robbie Grossman, and I've mentioned it before, but last year when he came back late in the season, he came back very aggressive. And when you added up the entire season for Robbie, on first pitches, he hit .472. He was 17 for 36.
I think I'd want to try and do that again. And it's not go up there and swing at the first strike. It's go up there, pick one pitch in the strike zone, and when you get it, better darn well be ready to hack at it.
LJ Ho's at the plate. It's that start in left field this afternoon. Robbie Grossman has stolen 3 in 3 tries on the year. Ho's batting in the 8th spot. Two balls and a strike on Ho's. The Astros got it started in the first inning as Jose Altuve singled into left field. He took off running, and Kike Hernandez on that pitch hit a little ground ball to shortstop. Slowly hit, but Ramirez was covering at the bag. It left a wide open hole and a base hit. First and third, and a sac fly by Chris Carter gave the Astros this 1-0 lead. Jared Cozart with a couple of strikeouts in his first inning, but also a big pitch inning for Jared. LJ lays off. It's 3-1. "28 pitches for Cozart to get through that top of the, or rather bottom of the first inning. Just 14 of the 28 pitches for strikes. On the hands of Ho's. That'll fill it. Robbie Grossman will be on the move. LJ Ho's hitting just .175. It's been a tough campaign. .239 the on-base percentage. .278 the slugging percentage for LJ. He fouls it on a line down the right field side. When you look at the hitting leaders in the American League at the start of play today, Adrian Beltre slipped 5 points yesterday, dropping to .335. It's a three-way tie atop the American League. Beltre, Robinson Cano, and Jose Altuve. And of course, Altuve with a hit in his first at bat. Down on strikes is Ho's. That'll do it for Houston. 3 strikeouts for John Danks in the second inning. It's 1-zip Houston.
Brought to you by your local Honda dealer. Quad Cities River Bandits pitcher Michael Feliz, right-hander, 21-year-old. One of those international signings by the Houston Astros. In his 17 games, he's made 12 starts, 6-2 record. sub-3 ERA, getting it done. 77 Ks, and opponents are having a tough time finding a way to get a hit off of him.
We go to the bottom of the second inning, 1-0 Astros. It'll be Gillespie, De Aza, and Beckham for the White Sox. That's Cozart, again, who had 28 pitches to get through the first inning. Scoreless, but a long frame for Jared, and now misses on the first offering here in the second. Connor Gillespie, everyday third baseman for the White Sox, and having a nice year, hitting .321. A ball and a strike on Gillespie.
He likes going after those high fastballs.
One of the rare gloveless hitters. Doesn't need time to adjust the gloves, but still finds a way to take his time at the plate. Gets jammed and fouls it back.
He's missing out on some endorsement deals, isn't he?
Well,
can't do that.
What can you get? I mean, if you're going to go gloveless, there's going to be some way to benefit, right?
Moises Alou had his ways, but
That's
I would
right.
imagine most humans would use pine tar.
How did Moises go about taking care of business?
He said that he would build up those calluses on his hands, and in order to keep them from blistering, he would use some bodily fluids to keep them in shape.
Well, that's a gross story right there.
I apologize for that.
Ground ball over the mound. Now Altuve to his right on the run and makes a heck of a play. That is not easy. Out number one here in the second.
Yeah, this part of Altuve's game really doesn't get talked about too much because the offensive numbers are so great and so good to look at. But day in, day out, continues to go out there, make the routine plays, and occasionally he'll make a great play like that one.
That little in-between hop on the run and moving to his right, I would think would make that a very tough play. Alejandro De Aza stands in, the left fielder for the White Sox. And he takes the curveball for a strike. You know, I would think in watching Jared Cozart with that natural cutter that a larger version, a slider, would be a part of the repertoire. You don't, in fact, we're not seeing it much, if any at all, recently. Which is close, but a ball and a strike. But he does have that good over-the-top curveball.
Sure does.
And now 2-1. Jared Cozart having a tough time getting into and staying in the strike zone. De Aza from the Dominican Republic. .30 years of age. 3-1. He's had success against the Astros, 6 for 14 this year. He's had a triple against Houston. Very little experience against Jared Cozart, just 0 for 1 coming in. But he draws the 1-out walk. It brings up 8 hitters. Second baseman Gordon Beckham.
Come out to Minute Maid Park August 1st through the 3rd to celebrate Legends Weekend as the Astros host the Toronto Blue Jays. On Saturday, August 2nd, 10,000 fans will receive an Andy Pettitte jersey courtesy of Waste Management. For tickets, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Well, Gordon Beckham stands in. Good second baseman. But hitting just .232, he takes the strike. Cozart can really take some speed off on that curveball. 6 years now in the big leagues for Beckham, and all with these White Sox. Career a .247 hitter. According to the radar gun here, Cozart's still throwing at 95.
Well, he's up among the league leaders in velocity. Average velocity, I should say.
Garrett Richards at the top of that heap.
He's got to be. These guys just bring it consistently.
Breaking ball. And a nice job by Corpy.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Garrett Richards' numbers are at, and he also has that cutter too out there in Los Angeles. But for Jared Cozart, the fastball, believe it or not, 93.7 miles an hour. The cutter, 95.
Throws a cutter harder than his fastball.
Okay, it's interesting.
Well, so somebody, the analysis going on there is picking up. So it's not determining that the cutter is a fastball. Number one, as this one goes to the backstop, easily into second base. Diaz on the wild pitch. Don't know what's going on for Jared. He just kind of looked at his right hand, shook it as if he was betrayed by that hand.
You just hope it's not that blister issue again, because this one might have hit the pole if it had the chance.
One out, Diaz aboard at second. And Bo Porter looked like he was scratching his head a bit. Hot shot on a hop past Dominguez into left field. Freezing momentarily was Diaz. He'll hold at third base. White Sox have runners at the corners with one out. And the 9-hitter, the catcher Nieto, coming to the plate.
Tough hop for Matt Dominguez to make a play on this one. Ball smoked. Kind of that in-between hop. Pretty good base running by Diaz to make sure that ball got through before he advanced instead of running into an out. Brett Strom's going to see if Jared's feeling all right.
Yeah, I think based on what we've seen, there have to be some question marks as to what's going on. Julia Morales might have a little info for us.
I have just a little bit. We asked Cozart about his blister issues yesterday to see how he was doing there. He said it was all under control. Everything was just fine. It was all behind him. He was dealing with it a little bit before the break, so something to keep an eye on today, definitely.
Yeah, thanks, Julia. You think we need to bring Moises in and talk with the guys a bit?
I don't know if he'd offer up his services, but kind of makes you wonder with a couple guys going down with the blister issue.
I'm just talking about advice, not really services.
Sorry.
Yeah. I just want to be clear about things. Astros play for two at short and second. Left hand hitting. Nieto at the plate. Hitting .258 overall. And pokes it foul on the left side.
You better get it ready, Nieto. That's a legitimate 95.
Another one of the Cuban-born players from La Habana, Cuba. Corpy doing all he can to try to make it look like a strike. 1-1 the count. Nieto played his high school ball in Florida and was a 5th-round pick in 2008 of the Washington Nationals. One and two the count. He's one of those Rule 5 picks picked up by the White Sox. And when you Rule 5 a guy, you have to keep him on your roster or he can be bought back. And the White Sox felt that Nieto would be bought back by the Washington Nationals and didn't want to give him a chance.
Yeah, they protected him at that AAA level because of his age, thinking nobody would take him and put him on their big league roster, but White Sox taking a chance.
Ground ball back to the mound. Trying to get the double play started. Cozart on to Gonzalez and on to first to Singleton, and that'll do it. The double play the Astros were looking for. And so the White Sox fail again in the second inning in their bid to get on the board. It's 1-0 Houston.
Photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast that is brought to you by AT&T. We'll see Jose Altuve in just a few minutes, but it is the anniversary of him making his major league debut. That was July 20th, 2011. 3 years ago, he was 21 years old, and in case you missed the interview earlier, he remembered a lot of those details, going 1 for 5 that day, batting behind Michael Bourne, ahead of Hunter Pence, and taking over for Jeff Keppinger at second base. We talked a lot about those 3 years. He said time has flown, and he's enjoyed every minute of it, being a part of the Houston Astros, and the guys have enjoyed being his teammate as well. George Springer saying today, hey, Altuve, you're going to have 3 hits, 2 doubles. Springer's already on the road, or on the way, I guess. 1 for 1 for Altuve today, guys.
And isn't he just one of the nicest guys you ever run into? Thanks, Julia. Marwin Gonzalez leads off here in the 3rd inning. 1-0 Houston. The Astros with 3 hits on the afternoon. The White Sox with a pair of their own. It'll be Marwin, Altuve, and Kike here in the 3rd inning. Ground ball hit right back up the middle. Marwin's gotten it started here in the 3rd inning. Hit number 4 for the Stros.
Take a look at some of the numbers Altuve's put up since his debut back on July 20th of 2011. Batting average close to 300, but that bottom line is the one you got to read. Only major leaguer 500 plus hits, 100 plus stolen bases since that date. Putting yourself in some elite company. Kid can do it all. He's fun to watch too. Still just a kid. He's the same age as George Springer.
That's something. And he drives one left field, back at the track. Diaz at the wall. He's run out of room. Long ball, Jose Altuve, his 3rd of the year. And 2 RBIs give the Astros a 3-0 lead here in the 3rd inning.
Put that on the board, Ash.
How about that? 2 for 2 already on his anniversary day.
Well, George Springer's not as good a prognosticator as I thought he was. 2 doubles. He got 2 doubles in 1 swing of the bat.
That is the way you do it. All-star Jose Altuve just continues as he gets started here in the 2nd half. There's the power swing.
You know what's crazy is I'd be willing to bet he wasn't looking for that pitch either. That's how good he is. He just hands it back and he just reacts. He sees a pitch hanging like that out over the middle of the plate. Puts a charge into it.
Completely agree. I think it's all about reaction for Jose.
Oh, showing the muscles. That a boy.
Told you to hit a homer.
Now somebody in the dugout saying, I told you you were going to hit a homer.
That cracks me up. Every time somebody hits a home run, somebody has to say that. It's an obligatory comment in the dugout.
I knew it. I called it.
I called it.
How many times do you hear that?
Every time.
So like 99 times then you heard that, right?
Yeah, not too many people called that 100th one.
Fly ball deep right center field, going back and making a running grab. Adam Eaton on the drive here by Kike Hernandez. Kike was bidding for his second hit of the afternoon.
It's a nice play by Adam Eaton. Getting back to Altuve's bomb.
Didn't get out by a whole lot, but it doesn't matter. Kike gave it a ride. So that's one out here in the third inning. 3-0 Houston. Chris Carter comes to the plate. And Carter fouls it off. No, when you talk Jose Altuve, he's again just as nice as they come, unassuming. There's no ego going on at all. Just loves playing the game. Get the sense that he doesn't take himself seriously at all. Just having fun doing what he loves to do.
Here we are. We were in a full panic after the hat trick on the first night. Strikeout looking at that last night.
And here's a rocket down the left field side into the corner. Chris Carter will dig for two, and he'll make it standing. A one-out double for Carter. And the Astros trying to put some more on the board here in the third.
Chris Carter likes hitting off of John Danks. Sac fly in the first inning. Had a couple of home runs in his history against John Danks. Now turns on one.
Double number 13 for Chris. So just when you think that he's lost that stroke again, maybe it's coming right back.
Let's hope so.
Well, Carter in scoring position. Matt Dominguez at the plate.
What I'd like to see is the Astros pile on. Have a blowout win one of these times instead of picking an inning, scoring a bunch of runs, and then shutting it down the rest of the way. I'd like to see them put up a ton of runs this game.
The Astros have lost their 2 games here in the second half, and 3 straight overall. In blowout games, the Astros are 11-21. Now, for baseball reference, I'm not sure what constitutes a blowout. But needless to say, in whatever that assessment may mean, they've been blown out 21 times, but they're trying to go the other way today. Base hit by Matt Dominguez. Chris Carter will score. 4-0 Houston here in the third inning, and John Danks is getting hit around.
Not too many soft shots off of John Danks. These Astro hitters are prepared and barreling him up nicely. 7 hits already here in the third inning. Head down. That's a great position to be in. You can see right in the middle of that barrel, Matt Dominguez squares that thing up.
So the Astros with a little offense working here this afternoon. Pitching coach Don Cooper out to the mound. He and part of the infield will chat things over. Try to get it straightened out for John Danks.
I don't know who that is. That's not Don Cooper.
No.
It's safe to assume that Don Cooper would go out, but for whatever reason, that is not him.
We're going to send out the
personal pitching coach. I don't know.
So we'll put a.
Maybe Don didn't want to waste his time. He's like, you go talk to him.
Windbreaker on top of things and send a random coaching staff member out to the mound. John Singleton comes to the plate. Singleton struck out in the second. First of 3 strikeouts picked up by John Danks. And he pops one foul back to the seats. We mentioned Jesus Guzman was in the original lineup today, but just simply couldn't go. Last minute insertion, John Singleton. It's a ball and a strike on John. That home run by Altuve, the 15th allowed this year by Danks. Off speed pitch inside, 2-1 the count. So it's an opportunity for the Astros to have some fun with the bats, get a laugher, and have an enjoyable plane ride to the West Coast this afternoon. Line shot, but hooking foul down the right side. A lot of times on these Sundays when you have no batting practice on the field, you either take a few swings in the cage or just come out cold and start to rake. But you can find some good days on these non-batting practice days.
I would say there's more good days than bad days.
I would agree. Half swing going through. Home plate umpire takes it. That's Marcus Patillo. And so down on strikes is Singleton.
Unfortunate. Great guests, hot topics, and no holds barred debate. Kevin Eschenfelder serves it up fresh every single night on Sports Talk Live every weeknight at 5 p.m. only on Comcast Sportsnet. Monday night we begin our breakdown of the AFC South with Gene Fournette from the Florida Times-Union.
2 down. Ground ball to the left side. To his left is Ramirez. He'll feed on to Beckham. And the force play will end things for the Astros, but they put 3 on the board in the 3rd inning and hold a 4-0 lead thanks to Jose Altuve.
On top of the White Sox, we move to the bottom of the 3rd at U.S. Cellular Field. This season at Minute Maid Park, every Friday night home game followed by spectacular fireworks presented by Marathon Oil Corporation. The next Friday night fireworks is July 25th after the Astros take on the Miami Marlins. Get your tickets at 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com. Guys.
That's some fireworks going on here this afternoon. Houston on top 4-0. Jose Altuve has a couple of knocks on his anniversary. And one of those a bomb to left field, 2-run home run, his 3rd long ball of the year. Great to see for Jose. Jared Cozart will try to settle in now as he works to the 3rd inning. Adam Eaton, the leadoff man, will lead it off. He'll be followed by Alexi Ramirez and Jose Abreu. And in the 4th inning, we will join in with the White Sox television broadcast. Make it kind of a 2-booth broadcast. Of course, Ken Harrelson, the longtime broadcaster, on the mic with the White Sox along with Steve Stone, and so we'll enjoy having them come in and hope you enjoy it as well. That'll come in the 4th inning as the first pitch, the curveball, is low. 4 runs, 7 hits for Houston. No runs, 2 hits for the White Sox. Cozart has walked a pair. And now a ball and a strike. Adam Eaton leading it off. One from Jared. That curveball dribbled up the first base side. 1-2 the count. Adam Eaton, 25 years of age. Lefty all the way. Not a big guy at all. Just 5'8". Those guys that made it to the big leagues without being a high round draft pick. Picked 19th overall, that in 2010 by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Played a couple of partial seasons with the D-backs. It's a pitch at the waist that's called high, and now 3-2 the count. In his first year now with the White Sox. Chopper, first base side. Singleton will kick it, and Eaton is aboard. It is an E3, and that gets things started for the White Sox here in the 3rd inning.
Time now for the Geico quote of the day, and today's it's from Orlando Cepeda. Orestes Minoso was the Jackie Robinson for all Latinos. He was everybody's hero. I wanted to be Minoso. Clemente wanted to be Minoso. Known as a Cuban Comet. Look at the numbers he put up over his career. 9-time All-Star. 4 different teams over 5 decades. Career .304 batting average. Not too bad.
One of those guys that I remember as a kid. He certainly was on my radar. Excellent major league player, Benny Minoso.
Well, next 2 guys are Cuban, Alexei Ramirez and Abreu.
Cuba's putting out a lot of great players right now.
Yeah, none of these guys coming over are slouches by any means. They are electric to watch.
Soft liner to left field, coming on as Hose. He'll make the play. Back to first. Adam Eaton, 1 out here in the 3rd inning. It brings up Jose Abreu. Jared Cozart 5-1 over his last 6 starts, but an ERA at 4.19 in that span. So he's been getting some run support. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. It really hurts. It's tough when you get no support, especially if you're pitching well. His 5 wins in that span, just behind the wins picked up by Garrett Richards, David Price, and Clayton Kershaw. As the pitch is up and away on Abreu. Adam Eaton, who reached on the error by John Singleton, had a base hit and stole a bag in the 1st inning, so you have to watch the running game here. He's held on by Singleton. Major league teams with the most home runs by rookies this year. Yeah, the White Sox are leading that list. It's a ball and a strike. White Sox have 32 rookie home runs this year. The Astros have 27. They're in 2nd place. And then it drops way off. Cubs and Rangers at 13 and so on. But these are the 2 clubs with the most rookie home runs on the year. One and one the count. Generally speaking, Jared Cozart has been tough to run on. That little slide step to semi-slide step at times. 2-1 the count. Good swing by Abreu. Not sure he gets anything else. Jeff, how do you feel about these guys that have played pro ball in different places, whether it be Japan or Cuba or whatever, and coming on and having a shot at ages that would say they're not really rookies, but having a chance to be Rookie of the Year?
It's unfortunate for some of the other kids around the league who are true rookies coming up, you know, working their way up through the minor leagues. So these guys that transfer over, Ichiro's a guy that comes to mind. But just the nature of the beast. It's how it works out. These guys start their careers elsewhere, develop themselves into being American Major League talent, so they are considered rookies, and it's just how it is. It's just the timing of the sport.
3-2 the count on Abreu. 1 out.
It's unfortunate because these guys like Abreu and Ichiro who come over, they're so much more seasoned and mentally prepared to handle that rookie season in the big stage, as opposed to some of these kids who go through the minor leagues and get called up.
Runner goes from first, line drive into right center field, so the White Sox play it perfectly here in the 3rd inning. Stopping at third base is Eaton, and the White Sox now with runners at the corners. 1 down for the cleanup man, Adam Dunn.
We haven't seen Abreu really drive a ball out of the ballpark yet, but still he's putting himself in pretty good situations and taking some good hacks, not trying to do too much, shooting this ball back up the middle on a fastball that was up out over the plate. Explains why his average is so high.
So Adam Dunn with runners at first and third, 1 out, trying to put the White Sox on the board. We've mentioned today is the anniversary, 3rd anniversary for Jose Altuve, first game in the big leagues. It's also the Major League anniversary for Adam Dunn. His came on July 20th of 2001, so a long while ago for Adam. Takes a perfectly placed strike on the outside edge. And over the years, Adam Dunn has hit 27 home runs against Houston pitching. Only 2 players have hit more home runs against the Astros since 2001. It would be Albert Pujols with 45 and Aramis Ramirez with 42. High chopper to first. They'll get the out of the bag. It'll be an RBI ground out for Adam Dunn, as coming in to score from third is Adam Eaton. And the White Sox are on the board. It's now 4-1 Houston. 2 down for Dion Viciedo. Moving into second base, Abreu. So he's in scoring position. Viciedo 0 for 1 on the day, fly to center. Cozart gets the early runs today, and now tries to settle these bats of the White Sox. It's that good little cutter at 95. Oh, and 1 to Viciedo.
Pitches aren't up.
That's a very low, high end of the strike zone. And again, this is Marcus Patillo, a young umpire behind the plate. Huge swing by Viciedo. 1-2 the count.
It's got such good movement. You can just pump that thing down the middle at 95 miles an hour and let it cut away from right-handed hitters. It's a nice little luxury to have.
White Sox already have a couple of hitters over 100 strikeouts on the year, Flowers and Dunn. And now taking the strikeout on a pitch on the outside edge is Viciedo. That's the third strikeout for Jared Cozart. Gets out of the third inning 4-1. We'll be back with the White Sox broadcasters. Lead after 3 innings, 4-1 over the Chicago White Sox, and we threatened you with the broadcasters from the TV booth for the Chicago White Sox. They have accepted the challenge and will join us here in the 4th inning. Ken Harrelson, the longtime broadcaster, as well as longtimer Steve Stone, and each guy with some great credentials as players through their years, and they have been every bit as good in the broadcast booth. We welcome you guys.
I don't want to talk to you.
Well, please.
Well, Alan, thank you, and you said it exactly as I wrote it. You did a terrific job.
That's the Hawk. That's Ken Harrelson. Stoney, make your presence felt.
Hello, boys.
Yeah. Yeah, we told you, Stoney, there are no boys over here in this booth right now, but we'll accept anyway.
Well, you guys, once again, y'all beat us 2 out of 3 down in your place, and I'll tell you, y'all have some good-looking young players on this team.
You know what, though, Hawk, you set it up pretty well because the White Sox have taken the first 2 here in the series, and I don't know where you feel like the White Sox are right now. They're a team that's just 4 games under 500. Are you guys poised to make a move here in the second half?
You know what we are? We are not a bad team, and I talked to him about this a little bit earlier. Canerco had a piece in the notes today, but we're not a real good team. And that's where we are. But I'll tell you what we do have is Tank makes that catch in foul ground. In each dugout, there are some good, young, talented players in each dugout.
Okay, since you say that then, and of course, Astros fans know all about George Springer. And we'll talk more about him as we get to your half of the inning. But Jose Abreu has been phenomenal this year. I don't know what everybody thought when you guys picked him up out of Cuba and spent all the money. But he's been every bit of what you could have imagined, I would think.
He's been more. We're watching history be made. He's doing things no other rookie has ever done. And it's a situation, guys, that we were told he was a bad first baseman. And that's so much BS, it's unbelievable. He is a good first baseman. And he has set a tone in the clubhouse. The other players, especially the other Cuban players, which we have 4 in our club, they gravitate to him. And he's just been a very, very pleasant surprise and fun to watch, because I'll tell you something, you make a good pitch on him, you get him. You make a mistake on him, he gets you.
So I would assume right now he's the cornerstone toward the future. What other guys would you put on that list?
Well, on that list, Alan, certainly is Chris Sale, who everybody has heard about. He's been an all-star 3 years in a row. But one of our most underrated of all pitchers is Jose Quintana, who just gives you a good outing each and every time out. At 17 no decisions last year, and he's a guy who, again, doesn't get big publicity, but you look at the numbers, you look at his ERA, look at everything else, he's He's among the league leaders in strikeouts. This is a really good young pitcher who's getting better. So there's a couple of guys that they view as cornerstones for this team, and Adam Eaton, of course, is another one.
Yeah, he's the guy in center field, and the guy we're going to get back next year for sure will be Abisail Garcia, who's got a chance. If you put Abreu, Garcia, and Biciedo in there, because Tank is getting better and better. He's just 25 years old. You're looking at a 3-4-5 situation that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, a lot of fans may not know about Abisail Garcia. He's a guy that I had seen the past couple of years that looks like he could be like a mini Miguel Cabrera. I mean, he looks like that package, and his game is strong.
It is. You know, he's like your George Springer in many respects. He's a 5-tool player. He's 6'4", 240 pounds. He's got tremendous power everywhere. He can fly, and he's got a great arm. So we're looking at a lot from where we were last year, as you guys know, as he makes that catch in center. But you guys have been looking at it for a while now. But from where we were last year when we lost 99 games, it wasn't just losing 99 games, it was how we lost 99 games. And Rick Hahn, the general manager, has gone out and turned this whole situation around to whereas now, if we get good bullpen work with the Detroit bullpen the way they are, if they continue to 4.5 ERA in that bullpen, they're not going to win this division.
Well, it could be an intriguing Central Division, no doubt about it. The Tigers, on paper, just continue to look like the team to beat, but Kansas City made a move early. Cleveland is now starting to play pretty well. It's not a pushover division by any stretch.
No, well, Kansas City, they have the best bullpen in the division, and they catch the ball better than anybody in the division. They only have one problem down there, and I'm not going to get into that. But if they run a good ball club out there, they're coming in here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But again, it's a battle, as you and I talked earlier before the game. Now, and it's a battle of bullpens.
Yes.
I don't care what your starters do. Detroit's got the best 5 starters in the American League. But they're still may not win this division because of the bullpen. And we've seen it. You've seen it with our guys. Our bullpen the last 2 days has been terrific. Meanwhile, we win both ball games.
Here's a line shot fair down the left field side. Marwin Gonzalez has his second hit of the afternoon. A single and a double. This one comes with 2 outs and brings up Mr. Jose Altuve. And as we talk about Altuve, guys, just your impressions now as you get to watch this monster of a player the Astros have.
From a pitching standpoint, I think about 60 feet 6 inches away from a guy that has a very small strike zone. And eventually, because he hits the ball so well, if you get it up in the zone, there's not many places you can pitch him. I think, Alan, what surprised me about him is not that he's very good and not that he's played well defensively, but for whatever reason, he struck out 5 times in this series,
yeah,
something he doesn't do very much. Yet you make a mistake on the inner portion of the plate, and he's going to hit it hard. He's done it the entire series.
Well, I personally love guys who can hit with short arms, and he can do that literally and figuratively.
Yeah, that's very true, Hawk.
It's going to be tough to jam him.
Yeah. You know, that 3 strikeout game, the only time he's done that this year, and I believe it's the second time in his career, 3 years to this point. So he's been phenomenal, and I think a lot of people, when they are going to see the Astros and they think Jose Altuve, they think novelty player. He's not that. He's just an excellent all-around player.
Well, he's going to be your second baseman for a long time, and that's become very obvious as you watch him play. You guys see him every day. How about Carlos Correa, the man who broke his ankle and everybody says is your #1 prospect? Does he have a chance to come up sometime next year and play shortstop?
Oh, I would think so, and I'll let Blummer address that in a moment. But he was great in spring training. Everybody loved him, and if you let people have their way on the field, he might be here already. One of those kind of talents. Nice play down the right field side by Biciedo. That'll do it for the Astros as Altuve is finally retired. We'll be back with the other guys in just a moment.
Welcome to Chicago, as always. Alan Ashby, Jeff Blum. Jeff, I got to ask you a question, buddy. Besides the monument of you outside our ballpark, how many other parks do you have a monument in?
It depends on if you count the one in my backyard. Because I had to chisel that one out for a while, but I think one that's visible, this is the only one, and that's a pretty incredible thing to see.
Well, for all the Astro fans, Jeff, as you know, was instrumental with that 14th inning home run. And that's the longest World Series game in history, and it won it for us as we swept your Astros. But Jeff was a great asset to this ball club, great in the clubhouse. And, of course, Alan, you know, for all our Sox fans, Alan was a terrific catcher.
And a guy that was drafted the same year that I was.
Yeah, thanks, Tony.
And that was good, but as I said, I was 8 years old when I was drafted.
Yeah,
you were substantially older.
That was good then, Stoney, not so much anymore.
We had expansive draft rules back then.
Well, you know, Alan, Vin Scully tells the story is that's a fair ball. And they missed it. They missed it. So Gillespie is aboard. But Vin Scully tells a story about the 4 stages of aging. He said there's a stage when you're born, and of course you go out of babyhood into a teenager. You go out of a teenager to adult. He said the final stage of aging was people come up and say, Vin, you look good.
Yeah.
And Alan, you look good.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that, Hawk.
And Jeff, take us through that at bat, the at bat that got you that little statue or monument that we're sitting with around the ballpark, which, you know, is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I came in on a double switch. Tadahito Iguchi, the inning before, had struck out, so I came in and played second base. But I was hitting third that inning behind Jermaine Dye and Paul Konerko. And Jermaine Dye, who was the MVP of that World Series, led off with a base hit. And with Paul Konerko at the plate, I was in the on-deck circle in a full panic because I was anticipating Konerko getting on base, and I was going to have to lay down a bunt in my only World Series at bat. So, so the wheels were turning a little bit. My heart was racing, and it sounds terrible, but when Morgan Ensberg made that great play on Konerko down the line and turned it into a double play, there was a little sense of relief that I was going to swing the bat as opposed to go up there and try and lay down a bunt in front of a couple million people. But I went up there, took a couple pitches, and got into a 2-0 count. And Ezekiel Estacio, who I assumed was going to try and throw me a fastball away, Brad Ausmus was set up away, and he yanked that fastball and missed his spot by about a good 1.5 feet in that down and in happy zone where I like it. And all I had to do was drop the head on it.
Well, it certainly was a history-making home run, and it'll always be in White Sox history. And as I said, that was just an exciting series as far as we were concerned, not so much for the Astros as we swept them, as I talked about earlier. But you guys, getting back to your ball club here, I tell you, this George Springer is one of the most impressive young men we have seen.
He's absolutely incredible. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch him take batting practice, but he has got prodigious pop all over the field. And you've seen his swings. He does not cut down with 2 strikes by any means.
Well, he's got a chance, in my opinion. You know, he's got the ability, the tools, and I mentioned in the first broadcast here, he's got one of those guys that's got a chance to go to Cooperstown.
You guys haven't really seen him play any special defense yet, but he's played a load of it. He's ailing right now, a little bit of a sore knee and quad. But I want to tell you, he's gone and gotten some balls, whether playing in right field or center field, as good as anybody in the game right now. He can throw. He can run with the wind, and his power, like Blummer says, is off the charts.
Yeah, once that leg gets healthy, too, he'll be able to do some of the stuff on the base paths we haven't been able to see. Last year, he had 45 stolen bases.
Well, if you look out at the Jimmy John sign out there in left field yesterday, not today, he was taking BP. And about 5 steps from the concourse to the top, he hit one that bounced about 5 steps and bounced over into the concourse. And I haven't seen the ball go there since Frank Thomas was taking batting practice here one day with an aluminum bat.
Of course, you guys got to see him go oppo yesterday, up over the bullpen in right field. So
that's the second longest. He and Abreu have hit the 2 longest home runs to right field by a right-handed hitter this year. And that was a Bo Jackson shot.
It's actually a good comparison as far as strength.
So the first 2 men aboard as we have something going here, and here's Beckham, who just ripped a single on a curveball past Dominguez. There's another guy we like too, is Dominguez. He's got a chance to be a good player.
I think Domingo's great at third base. His glove is what everybody talked about when he came over. See Bo Porter heading to the mound. Should be an interesting conversation, to say the least. But Domingo's glove is what everybody talked about. He's lived up to it and done better. But I think his bat's starting to come around. 20-plus home run guy at third base is a nice addition for the Houston Astros in that Carlos Lee trade.
Well, you know, the most impressive thing to me about your ball club has been the way they played us last year and this year. They give you 27 outs, and I credit that. You know, the mouth lies, the eyes don't. And when I look at the manager, or team, I should say, what tells me how good the manager is how hard they play for him. And these guys play very hard for Bo Porter.
They're a bunch of youngsters, no doubt about it, Hawk, and they have played hard. It's been hard to find a set lineup that runs out there every day, but some of the youth is starting to show up and really look like the future could be bright. The question mark now is, when do you get to the light at the end of the tunnel?
And Jeff, I don't know how many times you've had a chance to be on the cover of a newspaper, but the Sun-Times showed you with Soxapalooza.
Yep, I think I know what you're talking about.
Could it possibly be that you have one of those around somewhere?
I've seen pictures of it, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were traveling with it.
It comes out when I need.
And for our fans who didn't see it,
well,
there
I think
it is.
It's perfectly understandable why Aaron Rowan and Joe Creedy both had their hats on, I think.
That hairdo he had here was awful.
Oh, man. It
looked like he walked around with an electric plug in his pocket.
That's the only chance I had. There was such an amazing amount of product in that thing to get it to stand up straight. It was impressive stuff.
Well, when I saw you earlier, I didn't even recognize you with the hair you're wearing now.
I've toned it down a little bit, yeah. It might have a little bit to do with that picture.
But, you know, we talked about the bullpens and everything. You guys, with your bullpen right now, you guys aren't going to do a whole bunch because you're last in baseball in ERA now, that bullpen.
Yeah, a couple of injuries. Matt Albers was up early. The signing of Jesse Crane was supposed to be a big addition, but it doesn't look like he's even going to be back before the end of the season.
Singleton now goes to second, and they don't get him. So a good job right there, a real good job by Diaza.
Jose Altuve gets rid of this ball where he thinks the Astros can still get the double play, but like you say, that's good base running by Diaza to be able to stop and then get into second base ahead of the tag.
I think Altuve has got to run him back a little bit more. He still had time at first base, and I think he got rid of it too quickly, and that stopped the double play.
Probably one step too soon when it's all said and done.
Pretty good athleticism by Diaza.
That'll bring up Adrian Nieto. Nieto is an interesting case study for you guys because of the fact, have you ever heard of a guy with no experience above A ball being a Rule 5 draft and breaking with a major league club?
I don't think I recall anyone.
Me either.
But we watched him swing the bat very well in Houston.
He's getting better and better. And as I talk about, both these dugouts have some real good young talent in it. They're going to be fun to watch. Your club is going to be fun to watch once you can get that bullpen help out there. And certainly our club has been the same situation. We played more close games as you guys have played in a lot of close games too. A lot of people don't realize that.
When you look around the American League, guys, who are the class teams that you would see vying for the postseason this year?
That ball by Singleton through the wickets. That's going to score a pair on the arrow. And it is a 4-3 ball game. Yes.
This inning got started on a ground ball hit to Singleton. They ruled it a base hit for Gillespie, but the youngster John Singleton struggling with the leather.
I think some of those at-bats are starting to creep their way onto the defensive side of the game.
Well, you know, that happens, especially with young players. There's two sides of this game, as we've all been in it for a long time. There's offense and defense. And if you're going to take your bad offense out to the field where you're doing your team a disservice.
Yeah, I can snowball in a hurry, and that ball seems to find you when things aren't going well either.
That's for sure. Boy, that ball is kind of the smartest thing on the baseball field is that baseball. Sure is. So here's Adam. He is 2 for 2 with a run scored and a stolen base. 4-8-1 for them, a big one. 3-5-0 for our guys here in the finale of this 3-game set. And we're talking with Alan Ashby and Jeff Blum, broadcast team for the Houston Astros, along with one of my favorites, Bill Brown. How's Brownie doing?
Brownie's doing great. He's wise enough to not be doing all the road games anymore. In fact, most of them spend a little time at home. But Brownie is fantastic and figures to do this for a long time still.
Oh, he's good. I enjoy it. You know, when I have a ride every day of about an hour and a half to my home in Indiana, and I have a chance to listen to my satellite radio on MLB, and I catch you guys occasionally, and I tell you, he's just terrific.
He's one of the game's greats, and I think at some point we've got to start pushing for him to get into that Ford Frick wing.
I don't think there's any question about it. He's going to be there. He will be there. There's no doubt. As that pitch is up high.
Alan, I got one question for you, because you were a longtime Major League catcher, and a good one. Why is it that in this day and age, probably the most difficult commodity to come by is catching? You just don't see that many youngsters drafted and can produce offensively and defensively anymore.
You know, it's a really good question, and I'm not sure I know the answer, but I think of Bryce Harper right away. When you get that ultra talented guy that is a catcher coming out of whether it's high school or college, and he can run a bit and really has all the tools, he tends to convert to another position. So we don't even think of Bryce Harper as being a catcher now, but I think a lot of the really talented guys do wind up moving on to another position. But beyond that, I don't know if it's a focus on defense and maybe the offensive side gets lost. I'm not really sure, but somewhere in there lies a logical answer. I'm not sure I can pinpoint it, though.
Well, you know, one of the things that amazes me is, in concert with what you were just saying, is the fact that there's just none around, and you're seeing some of the good ones converted. And you're seeing some of, like Joe Mauer, for an example, has caught for a long time now. He's going to be a first baseman. And since he's become a first baseman, his offense has gone down, not up.
Yep.
And I think that what we're going to be seeing in the future, if this trend continues, is the fact you're going to be seeing position players sign, and they're going to sign them as an outfielder to come in to catch. They're going to try to convert them. Yeah,
that's intriguing. When I was a kid, actually kind of a high school kid, Johnny Bench came on the scene, and he's always been the man for me. And he kind of pointed the way I thought to that possibly quick route to the major leagues. Go behind the plate, and fortunately it worked out for me, but it's not all just fun and roses for guys trying to play back there.
No, Alan, exactly what you said was what my father said to me when I first started out. He said the quickest path to the major leagues is behind the plate, so I started out as a catcher. And then I took a couple of foul tips off the tips of the shoulders and had guys run into me on plays at the plate, and took some foul balls off my feet and decided that there has to be a better way.
You know, it's not really great for the curveball either, Stoney.
Well, you got to wear a cup when you're catching, you know.
Yeah, you do, and that messes things up. You know, Hawk, you won an RBI title. You were a big power hitter and all that, and great golfer on top of that. Stoney intrigues me as well. How that 1980 season came about with 25 wins and the Cy Young Award and all that.
Well, that was a couple of different things, Alan. First of all, I got with a wonderful baseball team, and if you remember that team in Baltimore that year, we won 100 games, and we went home. We didn't go to the playoffs. The Yankees won 103. But it was a combination of a couple of injuries in the rotation, allowing me to get 37 starts. That was number one. Number two, I got with a team that wouldn't allow me to lose very often because Baltimore understood how to win, and as a team concept, they were about as good a team as I had ever seen at playing together. We didn't have a lot of superstars. We just had good pitching, guys who could catch the ball, and a manager who insisted that we play the game right as a unit, which means don't throw through very often, keep the double play in order, throw to second base, and Earl Weaver, the Hall of Famer, was one of the best managers maybe who ever managed.
Abreu in the situation, 2 out, runners at the corners, takes outside. Well, Stoney, as you know, was a breaking ball pitcher, and he could throw strikes at any time with that curveball. But he still lives by the mantra that he lived by then, and that is, if you paid for it, it costs too much.
And that's why that was such a good year. You guys, we're talking about the record. That wasn't why the year was good.
Stoney, I'm sorry I asked the question to you to begin with.
Oh, you guys are awesome, I'll tell you. It's just been nice to see y'all again. And I like the idea of playing each other, 6 times a year. You get a chance to go down to a wonderful city in Houston, and y'all have a chance to come up here more than just to play the Cubs. How do y'all like the new structure?
Well, I'm good. There are times when I feel like for the good of the game, a more balanced schedule would probably be beneficial. But it's nice getting to see everybody. The whole interleague thing, I think has lost a little of its glamour that it began with. But for those who like it, that's a great thing, I guess. Balance would probably suit me, if you're looking for that fair product in the postseason.
Well, I agree with you. You know, you're speaking as a baseball man, which you should. But to me, it's the fans' game. And the fans want it. Yep. The attendance keeps going up. Give it to them.
Yeah, you're right.
Here's the 1-2 pitch to Abreu. That's up high.
So how's that golf game, Hawk?
I suck.
Yeah? I don't believe a word you say.
I'm not buying that either.
You just lost me on the whole conversation.
Well, I got $225,000 worth of canceled checks to prove I can't play golf. But this guy right here, I'll tell you, this guy has changed. This guy has changed already the face of this organization. That's how quickly he's done it. And he missed 2 weeks of the season on the DL.
Well, we've noticed that some good crowds have been coming out to watch the White Sox.
And they're going to continue because this is a fun club to watch. When you got the Eatons, and I'll tell you, the first half of the year, close to being our MVP was Alexi Ramirez. He played a shortstop like you can't believe and had 35 quick RBIs. So we had things going, especially coming off that miserable 2013 year.
Yeah, I've heard you bring up the name Adam Eaton a couple of times. What is it you like so much about his game?
Everything. He's a grinder. He will gut it out with you. He'll have those 8, 9, 10 pitch at bats, and he catches everything in center, right center, and left center. That's a high pop up, and when it comes down, we want to thank Alan Ashby and Jeff Bloom. And guys, it's always nice to see you. But we do come up with a pair right here, and thanks for the time, fellas. It's 4-3 Houston.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Sure to come out to Minute Maid Park August 1st through the 3rd to celebrate Legends Weekend as the Astros host the Toronto Blue Jays on Sunday, August 3rd. 10,000 fans will receive a Roy Oswalt bobblehead. For tickets, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. And we welcome you back to U.S. Cellular Field. I am at the Bullpen Sports Bar. This is probably the best view in the house. I'm with my closest friends over here. While you guys were talking to the broadcasters, I was hanging out. But really, this is such an incredible view. The Astros bullpen right here to my right is they're heckling me. Isn't it supposed to be the other way around? Josh Fields over here stretching. Really, really cool stuff, though. This is definitely one of the best places to probably watch the game here at U.S. Cell, guys.
Nice going, Julia. And stay with all the good folks out there. In that 4th inning, the White Sox picked up a pair of runs, and now it's a 1-run game. 4-3. Astros on top of the Sox. To the 5th we go. Kike Hernandez leads it off. He's 1 for 2 on the day. When the White Sox got him in the 3rd inning, he drove one just to the base of the wall in right center field, but a fine play by Adam Eaton. And now a line shot into the gap in left center field. Kike's done it again. Cutting it off is Eaton, and he'll get it back in, and there's part of why these White Sox broadcasters like him so much. Leadoff single, Kike Hernandez. Could have been at least a double.
Just one of those hard-nosed ball players that goes out there and gives you everything he has on every play. They appreciate that here on the south side. Good piece of hitting by Kike. Off the bat, I'm sure he thought he had a chance at going 2 bases, but watch his slide and pop up from Adam Eaton is what stops Kike from going for 2.
That's a heck of a play in center field. For the Astros, hit number 9. They lead in that category, 9-5. Brings up the 3-hitter today, Chris Carter. Astros DH is 1 for 1. He's had a sac fly, driving in number 41 on the year in the first inning, and then doubled and scored in the 3rd inning. So Carter having a nice day in the 3 spot. John Danks has been banged around, but still in a 1-run game. And it's been a tough day defensively for John Singleton. I don't know how you felt, Blummer, but I thought as Gillespie led off the 4th inning, that ground ball could have, maybe should have been called an error.
Well, I hesitated writing it down, yeah, because it could have gone either way. But if you look back in that inning, that was the only hit in that inning.
Yeah.
Yet they scored 2 more runs.
I thought that was a kind of a hometown ruling there for the base hit for Gillespie. If it had gone the way I saw it, there would have been a couple of errors in the inning, 3 on the afternoon for John Singleton. Carter fouls it back. 1-2 the count.
And we kind of alluded to it. That's what happens sometimes when this game's going bad. That ball will find you.
And you wonder if it really is an aspect of the offensive game struggling, and maybe it starts affecting the defensive side of play.
You hope not. I'm sure if you talk to John, he'd say that's not the case. The ball maybe just ate him up.
Pop up on the right side. Second baseman Beckham on the outfield grass. They'll make the catch. 1 down here in the 5th.
But the fact of the matter is, when things are going bad, those baseball gods are watching the game, and they're going to test you at every moment that they have the chance to.
It's a cruel game. And just when you think you've got it figured out, get ready for a barrage of problems. Matt Dominguez, the cleanup man, will stand in. Matty D is 1 for 2 with an RBI single.
Unless you're Jose Altuve.
Well,
but even he had his episode the first 2 games.
He negotiated well.
Yeah. 5 strikeouts in the first 2 games for this, so even some of the best hitters are going to have their issues in baseball.
Here's a drive, left center field, back at the seats. See ya. Matt Dominguez unloads and opens this game back up. The 2-run homer gives the Astros a 6-3 lead here in the 5th inning. And Matt Dominguez got all of this one.
I'm not sure if the people at home have the same audio ability that we do, but as soon as that ball jumped off the bat of Matt Dominguez, you could hear Danks was not too happy with himself in the location of that pitch. Matt Dominguez jumping all over that.
Yeah, the commentary from the field was pretty strong right there.
Yeah, it was, you knew it was going to be a pretty good bomb just by what John Danks responded to.
Second home run for the Astros on the day, the other one by Jose Altuve, and now a base hit for John Singleton, who had struck out in his first 2 plate appearances. So Singleton now 1 for 3.
That's good news. That'll help the fortunes turn around as we take a look back at that fastball. It's supposed to be away. You can see yanked it. Middle in, and up to the task was Matt Dominguez, driving this ball pretty well into that bleacher in left center field. 429 feet on that home run.
6-3 Houston. Afternoon game, and the guys are swinging it. 11 Houston hits on the day. Just 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. 12 bombs on the year for Matt Dominguez. Doesn't appear he's going to get to his home run total of last year. Carlos Corporon at the plate, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Five home runs on the year for Carlos. And Matt Dominguez a year ago hit 21 home runs. We are approaching game 100. That will come with the first game in Oakland. And that's pretty easy to figure at that point. 62 games will remain. It is number 99 for the Astros this afternoon. Ball and a strike on Corcoran. Little thumber going to drop in right center field. Another hit for the Astros. Their 12th of the day, and now firing back into second is Eaton. And a very alert play in center field.
Come out to Minute Maid Park next Saturday, July 26, as the Astros face the Miami Marlins at 6:10 p.m. And afterwards, stick around for a post-game concert by Jason Derulo, included with your ticket. For tickets, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com.
6 runs, 12 hits, and an error for the Astros. 3 runs on 5 hits for the White Sox. Robbie Grossman is 1 for 2 on his day. And now Robin Ventura, the skip, coming out, and he has seen enough of John Danks here this afternoon. The White Sox have a right-hander twirling in their pen, and they will go to the pen in the 5th inning with 1 out and a couple of runs in. As we break it here in the 5th inning, it's 6-3 Houston. White Sox go to their bullpen. Astros on top 6-3, 1 out here in the 5th inning. Making his major league debut, right-hander Taylor Thompson.
I appreciate you handing that over to me.
You got it. It's all yours, Blummer.
Got to start typing a little bit faster and try and figure out what we got from this young man. Just activated today. There's some numbers on him from AAA. 31 games he's pitched down there. How about that ERA? Doing a great job. 2.61, 48 and 3rd innings. Making his major league debut. Right-handers hitting only 185 off of him.
Well done, Blummer.
I'm here for you.
Thank you. Robbie Grossman will turn around and bat left-handed now. Robbie 1 for 2 on the day. Again, the Astros with 12 knocks on this afternoon. Astros trying to add to this 6-3 lead. Robbie got a base hit in the 2nd inning, batting right-handed on the first pitch he saw. Drilled one into center field. So that first pitch from Taylor Thompson inside on Robbie Grossman. And this one in the dirt. Nice block by Nieto, the young catcher. Nice visit with the boys next door, the White Sox longtime broadcasting crew. They've got an intriguing club right now. Little thumber back of shortstop. This is out of the reach of Ramirez. A base hit into center. Being waved home is Singleton. The throw to the plate is not in time as the ball is dropped by Nieto. And that would have been an intriguing call. Very tough play for the catcher. So an RBI single, Robbie Grossman, his second hit of the day. And it's a 7-3 Houston lead.
Would have been a real interesting play if Nieto had held on to that ball at home plate. What a 3-run lead. Pat Listash taking a chance with John Singleton scoring from second base. Adam Needham charged the ball well. Pretty good pick by Nieto too. Just couldn't hold on to it with Singleton sliding by.
Singleton, for a big guy, runs pretty well.
It's going to be a little intimidating to see a guy that size coming at you.
Adam Eaton with a good strong throw to the plate, but one of those throws that bounces a little too close to the plate makes it tough on the catcher. Still one out. 13 hits now for Houston. LJ HOU's at the plate. LJ looking for that first knock on his day. In fact, he is the only man in this Houston lineup without a hit today. Fastball from Thompson at the knees. Dave Tremblay and Bo Porter. Brent Strom as well. They keep that focus going very well during the ball game. 2-1 the count. Look at the Astros lineup today. Already 4 guys with 2 hits. Make that 5 when you look right to Marwin Gonzalez at the bottom. Marwin's 2 for 2. Robbie Grossman 2 for 3. Matt Dominguez 2 for 3 with a bomb. Kike Hernandez has a pair, and Altuve with a home run also has 2 hits. Line shot slicing foul down the right field side.
The only guy without a hit is the guy at the plate, LJ HOU's.
On the other side, the White Sox with 5 hits. Their leadoff man, Adam Eaton, with a pair of those. And you do start to see some of that ability and tenacity of Eaton in center field. Ken Harrelson, obviously a big fan of the young center fielder. 2-2 pitch. Chopper hit to second. Could be 2, 4, 6, and 3 as they get the double play. For the White Sox, that's the second one they turn on the afternoon. Matt Dominguez with the big swing of the inning. It's 7-3 Houston. Sportsnet is presented by Maaco, America's Body Shop. Let us turn the car you drive back into the car you love. Maaco, America's Body Shop. Some of the sights and sounds here around U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago. Astros having some good times here this afternoon, leading 7-3. Some of your old buds there, Blummer.
Yeah, there's some good people down here, some good fans. But did I just see that old Comiskey had a shower?
Looked like it. I don't know that they did in the days that I played there, but
my goodness.
Boy, you know what? You go back into those
that
days.
Funky out in the stands?
Old Comiskey and old Tiger Stadium and some of those ballparks, Yankee Stadium, the clubhouses were anything but what you would expect in the major leagues. Cleveland. It was a very different time.
There you go. I mean, just in case you're wondering what it was like to shower at Comiskey.
Why don't you run out there and sample that thing for us? Adam Dunn at the plate has an 0-2 count. Dunn has walked and grounded out, driving in a run with that ground out in the 3rd inning.
Well, you get some hot and muggy days out here in Chicago. Go rinse off.
Yeah.
Much to the appreciation of I'm sure your seatmate. You stink them out.
Well, that would be a bad thing. It's supposed to be a good occasion.
There's times I wish we had showers up here in the booth, Ash. Good grief.
Are you, you're talking yourself, right?
No.
Strike 3 called on Adam Dunn. He's caught looking. Doesn't like the call from the young home plate umpire, Marcus Patillo. But Adam Dunn is down on strikes.
Take a look back at that pitch that Adam Dunn is not happy with. Ball cutting. I think the only thing he could really argue is maybe down below the knees. Adam Dunn is a big man, but I'm sure Patillo behind home plate is going to argue about the nape of the knee being crossed right there by that pitch.
1 out. It brings up Viciedo, right fielder for the White Sox. And a belated happy birthday to the Astros trainer Nate Lucero. We somehow let that slip through the cracks yesterday, so we apologize. And again, a happy birthday to Nate. There he is. Does look a bit older.
Doesn't look a day over 55.
Yeah, you're right. He's going to hear about it. We will hear about it when we get on the plane today.
Nate's good people. I can dish it out. He can give it right back. He's good people. I think he's only, 44, 45 years old, actually.
I'm going to go with your word.
Yeah, I think he's 45. But he's good people. Good trainer. He was a strength and conditioning coordinator when I played here early.
Line shot into left field off the bat of Viciedo. 1 out single.
I believe he took over for Dave Labossiere, who was the head trainer for years for the Houston Astros, and Nate Lucero moved into there, doing himself a great job.
Dave Labossiere had a very nice career and has, I believe, retired to Colorado.
Yes.
Connor Gillespie comes to the plate, 1 for 2 on his day. Astros set up for 2 at 2nd and short. The Astros are yet to turn a double play on the afternoon, and this ground ball gets through into right center field. Digging for 3rd is Viciedo, back-to-back hits, and here come the White Sox.
Saw them kind of peck away as you see Gillespie getting that hit on the 100th pitch from Jared Cozart. But they're refusing to go away with the Astros putting up a 3 spot here in the top of the 5th. And there is still nobody throwing in the Houston Astros bullpen, with Jared Cozart at 100 pitches. Try and get him through this 5th inning and qualify for that win.
What the Astros offense today, a couple of home runs. That's 106 on the year for Houston. They stand 3rd in the American League behind Baltimore and Toronto. Toronto Blue Jays had a huge lead in the home run game there for a while, but the Orioles have come back, and the Orioles won that category last year, and they're riding it hard into first place this year.
They've got some boppers in that lineup.
They were minus Chris Davis for a good long while. They've been without Matt Wieters. One hopper to short, could be 2. Gonzalez, Altuve, and Singleton not in time. A run will score It's a fielder's choice. RBI De Aza. And now back to 7-4. The Astros on top.
Take a look at that. Bo Porter on the top step, maybe questioning that call at first base, but De Aza can run a little bit. Looks like he beats it. Yep. Ball wasn't hit very hard. Marlin does as good as he can to get that feed to Altuve.
Yeah, De Aza got down the line nicely. And he, in doing so, stays out of the double play, provides the White Sox a run. And another swing here in the inning. Gordon Beckham at the plate. For Beckham on the day, he's 1 for 2. And an 0-2 count. Cozart gets in front, and now that Astros pen starts to loosen. Got a right-hander and a left-hander throwing. Darren Downs the left-hander. And Jose Veras the right-hander. Jared Cozart trying to get out of this 5th inning. It has been a battle, a 28-pitch first inning for Jared. Runner goes from first. Pitch hit in the air center field. Should be routine for Kike. He jogs in and toward right center a bit, makes the catch. That does it for the White Sox. They get a run and leave a man. 7-4 Houston.
Back to August 20th of 2011, a month after Altuve made his debut on the scene for the Houston Astros. Hits one off that left center field wall and cruises on in. Not for a triple, but an inside the park stand-up home run. Then back today, celebrating that 3rd anniversary. Got a base hit in that first at bat, and then backs it up by going deep for a 2-run jack. That's how you celebrate.
And with that, the Astros enjoying the 7-4 lead. We go to the 6th inning. Right-hander and the rookie Taylor Thompson still on working now for the White Sox. His major league debut. Just purchased from AAA Charlotte prior to today's game. It'll be Marwin Gonzalez to lead it off. He's 2 for 2, a single and a double. He's also scored a run. He'll be followed by Jose Altuve and Kike Hernandez. First pitch of the inning. That sinking fastball runs down and away. We look to the Astros bullpen. and they continue to have Darren Downs getting loose. So it would figure that Downs will come on to work the 6th. Jared Cozart, 104 pitches, just 59 strikes today. Not an overly sharp day, and yet Cozart a chance to win another one. And if he picks up the W today, he would lead the staff with 10 of them.
Good to see the offense showed up today. They came into this game today, first 2 games, hitting 188, but have exploded for 13 hits, 7 runs. They've shown their support for Jared Cozart, who has battled through this game.
Yeah, the offense has had a tough time, no doubt. They're dead last, the Astros, in the American League in runs per game. Just above them, the Boston Red Sox and Tampa Bay. We had a chance to see a red-hot offensive Seattle Mariners when they were last in Houston, but they are averaging less than 4 runs a game. So in the American League, 4 teams coming in under 4 runs a ball game. 2-2 the count on Marwin. Good changeup to get him. So Marwin down for the first time today. That's 5 strikeouts picked up by the White Sox staff. Astros record at the break this year at 40-56. Of course, a lot better than what it was a year ago, and a lot better than what it's been in recent seasons.
No, I think that's real good. If you're looking for improvement, that's what Houston Astros fans have been waiting for since 2011. Improvement. That's what you need to see as a fan, as a team, as a manager, as a broadcaster. You want to see some signs of improvement. I think things are moving in the right direction. George Springer, Altuve signed up for a little bit.
Jose Altuve standing in, takes a ball. Jose with a single in the first, a home run, a 2-run job in the 3rd inning. That was his 3rd on the year, and then flied out to right in the 4th inning. So 2 for 3 on the day. Thompson's fastball hit on the ground, 2 hops to short. Ramirez with the play, and Altuve, as always, digging down the line, makes it close. It's 2 outs in the 6th. Bring up Kike Hernandez, also with a pair of hits. He's 2 for 3. And again, the only time they got Kike today, he drove one to right center field. Took a nice running play by Eaton in center to make that play. Kike trying to get on for Chris Carter. "20 hits in the game, and 13 for Houston. At AAA this year, Taylor Thompson, the youngster, allowed right-hand batters just a 185 mark. Lefties hit just 244. And a strike, a sizable outside corner there. So the Astros 3rd in the league in home runs. They're 2nd in stolen bases, trailing only Kansas City. Kike offers, it's 1-2. To talk batting average, the Tigers lead at 278. The Astros dead last at 237. And down on strikes, Kike Hernandez. A couple of strikeouts in the inning for the youngster Thompson. That'll do it for Houston in a 1-2-3 6th. But they lead it 7-4. Top we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Darren Downs, the left-hander, now comes on to work it for Bo Porter's Houston Astros. The Astros out hitting the White Sox this afternoon, 13-7. Jared Cozart done with his day's work. And for Jared, a little shorter than he would have liked, just the 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned against him. 104 pitches, and Jeff Blum has been honored here at the ballpark, and rightly so, for his great contribution in that World Series season for the White Sox, 2005. The Astros felt the brunt of that, and Jeff Blum showing off the ring.
I know Astro fans really kind of feeling the brunt of that this series, but the way the Chicago White Sox organization treated me while I was here and the way they treated me this week has been fantastic, and I truly appreciate all the admiration and everything they've done to make this a special moment for me. And I think the Astro fans too. What a lot of people don't realize is that series, even though it was a sweep by the Chicago White Sox, the run differential in that series was only 6. We only won that series by 6 runs. It was a fantastic series. I think one of the more underrated World Series in all of history.
Well, a huge congratulations to you, Jeff. Much deserved, and we're glad to have you on our side.
I'm glad to be back too.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Darren Downs in his 3rd year in the big leagues, 2 with the Tigers, and now his 1st with Houston. Falls behind 2-0 as he starts things. 9-1-2 for Chicago, rather. Nieto. Let's see. It is Nieto, the switch hitter, at the plate. Be followed by Adam Eaton and Alexi Ramirez. He takes a strike. It's 2-1. You still find that you go around downtown Chicago, people recognize you?
Yeah, but they're very nice about it. You know, a couple people will come out and, you know, they'll figure it out, and they have the guts to come over and say, hey, thanks, or whatever like that. But more often than not, you kind of get that awkward look like, I think I know who you are, but I'm not going to take the chance.
Little looper dropping in center field. That's a base hit, leading off for Nieto here in the 6th inning. It's been pretty much a hit parade all afternoon.
Both sides getting it done. Come out to Minute Maid Park August 1st through the 3rd to celebrate Legends Weekend as the Astros host the Toronto Blue Jays on Friday, August 1st. 10,000 fans will receive a Lance Bergman bobblehead courtesy of Houston Methodist. For tickets, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
So again, the Astros looking for their first double play defensively. They've had a couple of opportunities. First pitch to the leadoff man, Eaton, is taken for a strike. Eaton has singled and stolen a base. He's reached on an error charged on John Singleton and drawn a walk, so he's been on base all 3 appearances. And now Downs tosses to first. That's a well-spotted fastball, missing apparently away, a ball and a strike. The Astros with a run in the 1st. And that was kind of one of those small ball runs. They got a base hit to start it by Altuve. A play that looked like a hit and run, but likely just Altuve on the move had Kike Hernandez ground one through a vacated shortstop spot. That put runners at 1st and 3rd. Chris Carter picked up a sac fly. That put the Astros immediately on top. The Astros added 3 in the 3rd inning. Jose Altuve instrumental again with a 2-run home run. Fly ball down the left field side. Hose crossing into foul territory to make the play. Out number 1 here in the 6th inning. White Sox added 1 in the 3rd, 2 more in the 4th. The Astros with 3 in the 5th, and the White Sox scored 1 in that 5th inning. And now the skip, Bo Porter, coming out. That figures to do it for Darren Downs. And now the bullpen is going to go to work. It is Jose Veras jogging in from the right field bullpen. He'll be pitcher number 3 this afternoon. It's 7-4 Houston.
Astros, we're still in the bottom of the 6th. Astros fans walking around here at the ballpark south side of Chicago. Can you beat the best? Join millions of players now on the only official Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. Square off against your friends from around the world live in multiplayer derby mode and climb to the top of the leaderboards. Download today for free on the Apple App Store and Google Play. Guys.
Thank you, Julia. It's a 7-4 Houston lead. We're in the 6th inning. 1 out, the White Sox have a runner aboard. That came via the leadoff single by Nieto, and now Jose Veras takes over, pitcher number 3 for Houston. Two-hitter Alexi Ramirez at the plate. Jose Veras 9 years in the major leagues, 19-23 overall. An ERA just under the 4 mark. Appearing in his 8th game with the Astros this year. First pitch drilled down the left field side. That'll drop inside the line and into the corner. Digging for third base, Nieto. He's being waved home. No relay, and they'll go on the board again. 7-5 now. RBI double Alexi Ramirez. And still just 1 out here in the 6th inning. So Veras has thrown 1 pitch and yielding the RBI double.
Alexi didn't waste any time jumping on that first pitch from Jose Veras, turning on it. Pretty good jump by Nieto, the catcher at first base, to come all the way around and score from first base. Always happened to go all the way into that corner and throw that ball in.
So the lefty-righty thing not working so well here in the 6th inning.
Well, right-handed hitters had a better average against Jose Veras.
Well, you can look at, and that's the case a lot of times. Right-hand hitters, in a lot of cases, like hitting off right-hand pitching. Jose Abreu at the plate. Checks his swing. It's a ball and no strikes. I think that's a very overlooked stat a lot of times. I will grant that most left-hand hitters would much prefer facing a right-handed pitcher, but a lot of right-hand hitters will say I'm more comfortable against the righty.
Well, it just happens so often. There's so many more right-handed pitchers in the league, a lot of right-handed hitters. That left-on-left matchup is one that's a little more obscure.
2-0 the count. First base open.
On the mound for this guy.
Well, he's going to get his good swings.
It's in a good spot to hit right now, 2-0. But that Astros bullpen again.
Well, Harrelson and Stone really like Abreu, and you can certainly see why. And they seem to be high on their White Sox.
They've shown a tendency over the years to cheer for their guys.
Slider and a swing and a miss. 2-1 the count.
Good slider. 2-0 hitters count. Looking for the fastball. Throw the off speed at him. Get that swing and miss. Now you got him guessing.
Just a 2-run game now. White Sox picking up runs in each of the last 2 frames. And 3-1 the count.
Abreu doesn't have many walks on his season.
Surprising.
It is surprising, but still it looks like he's got a pretty good idea of what he's doing at the plate as far as discipline and knowing the strike zone. 85 strikeouts, 86 with the one he had today. Hitting over 290.
So who's more valuable, the guy that draws a lot of walks or the Jose Abreu type who drives the baseball around the yard?
Tough to say, but for me, a guy that can hit 3-4 hole, hit 290 and drive in 100 runs, I'm going to take him every day.
Heartbeat. Slider lined up the middle. That's a base hit. Being waved to the plate, Alexi Ramirez. It's going to be a 1-run game, and now the Astros with a throw-off line from Kike Hernandez will move Abreu into scoring position. Single and an E8. And now that tying run in scoring position. 7-6. Stros on top.
That's a good quality hitting by Abreu. Not trying to do too much. With one swing of the bat, he could have tied this thing up, but gets himself a 3-1 slider, stays on it, and drives it up the middle. That shows me that he's a good hitter and worthy of that 290+ average that he has, and recognizing how to hit with runners in scoring position. Just keep the train rolling.
Well, Adam Dunn will come to the plate. Still 1 out in the 6th. Shift on Jose Altuve in shallow right. Only Matt Dominguez on the left side. And the first pitch popped up on the left side. Matt Dominguez doesn't have to go far. In fair territory, he'll put it away. And a big second out in the 6th. Brent Strom on that phone, and it's been a busy phone for the Astros now. There's the 3rd pitcher of the afternoon. For the moment, that pen in right field is quiet, but that's going to change momentarily. Tony Sipp is going to get up and throw. And now timeout called. Carlos Corporon is going to go out and buy time.
Well, because Tony Sipp literally just got off the bench right now. That might have been the first throw he's made down there in the bullpen. Give him a little bit of extra time with the left-hander, Connor Gillespie, who's on deck behind Viciedo. And I was thinking how Veras was going to go after and attack Viciedo with that first base open here in a 1-1 game.
I think if I had my way anyway, this would be an aspect of the game that would be taken away. It would be a way to charge visits to the mound and just force managers to get guys up appropriately and ready for the game.
Well, if you're the casual fan sitting at home, you don't understand what this means. But sometimes the game can get quick, and it can get ahead of you a little bit. You're trying to manage situations, and this is clearly a stall tactic by the Houston Astros to give Tony Sipp enough time so that they can get past Viciedo, put him on first, and pitch to the left-handed hitter, Connor Gillespie. And what I mean, that game gets in front of you fast. You're worried about the guys that are hitting at the top of the order. This inning started with a 9-hole hitter, and you don't expect to get down to that 5-6-hole hitter. This is what happens. You've got to stall for time to get that left-hander up instead of anticipating it, possibly getting into this situation late in the inning where you can use a guy like Tony Sipp who's been successful out of that bullpen.
Well, it's the way it's always been. I don't know that it's the way that I feel it should be, but game has been pace challenged, no doubt about that. Brent Strom has had his time at the mound. So in effect, we've had a couple of visits here to Veras.
And the interesting thing is that Veras the batting average against left-handers is only 200.
Yep.
But if you're going to play those matchups, you've got to look well ahead and have those guys ready to go in case you want to go with the matchup.
And Tony Sipp has been very good against lefties and righties.
Man, yeah. He's had a real good year out of that bullpen.
Jose Veras falls behind immediately on Dayan Viciedo, who is 1 for 3 on the day. Had a single and scored a run that came in the 5th. Takes a strike. It's 1-1.
And Veras is just pumping fastballs.
Both
interesting.
Both teams in double digits with hits. 13 for Houston, 10 for the White Sox. Ground ball sharply hit and through the legs of Jose Altuve, and this is going to tie the game at 7. The throw to the plate, uncuttable, and moving into second is Viciedo. And there's one of the mistakes, and it's really happened twice in the inning for Kike Hernandez. You must hit your cutoff man.
And he knows that.
Yep.
Played some left field. We saw that. Made some great plays. Now in center field, maybe trying to do a little too much, realizing that that run is going to tie this ball game at 7 now. But what happens when you overthrow that runner? We've seen a couple of glitches in Altuve's game here in this series. Early in the first 2 games, striking out 5 times. Now this ball going through the wickets for allowing the tying run to score. But with that overthrow from Kike coming home, it allows the runner Viciedo to get into scoring position.
Bo Porter is coming out. That's going to do it. Second visit here in the inning. So Jose Veras came on and allowed 3 hits to the 4 hitters he faced. He is done. Tony Sipp will be summoned. 4th pitcher of the day for Houston. We're now tied at 7 here in the 6th inning.
Sox at 7. And here's a look at our upcoming schedule. It's presented to you by Progressive. This is our last game here in Chicago for the season before hopping on a plane and heading out west, going to Oakland, California, where we're going to enjoy a day off before starting that 3-game series against the AL West leading Oakland A's. After 3 days of competition there, it's going to be a flight back home to Houston for a nice long homestand for those Houston Astros. 3 against the Miami Marlins, and then again 3 more against the Oakland A's, and then a weekend series against the Toronto Blue Jays, where they'll be celebrating some of the legends through Astros history.
Well, here we are in a tie game, 7-7, as the White Sox have put 3 on the board in the 6th inning, and Tony Sipp will work it. Jose Veras had an ineffective afternoon.
Tony Sipp having himself a decent year. 6 walks in those 27 innings. He's aggressive in the strike zone. Got a good fastball. Really good changeup. throw that slider occasionally to get those left-handers out. You can see the average against him as a left-handed hitter is at 104.
Yeah, Tony Sipp has simply been outstanding regardless of who's been at the plate, and now called upon to end things here in the 6th. Connor Gillespie at the plate, 2 for 3 on his day. The only time the Astros got him back in the 2nd inning. Took a nice play by Jose Altuve on a bouncer headed back up the middle. Sipp set to work it, and the breaking ball hit in the air left field, easy for Hose, and Hose making the play. Kike Hernandez came a long way and just about took over on that play. Sipp gets the out on 1 pitch. We're tied at 7.
Tied up at 7 between the Astros and the White Sox. Astros, Dynamo, Rockets, and more. We've got all your Houston sports news covered with Sportsnet Central weeknights at 6:10 and midnight, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Ash.
Come on, Julia. White Sox go to their bullpen once again now that they've evened things up with the Astros. 7-7. We go to the 7th inning, and right-hander Daniel Webb will pick it up for the Sox.
Saw Daniel Webb the other day pitching in this series. Got himself a good fastball, 95 miles an hour, hard slider, hard changeup. Left-handers having a tough time hitting 214 off of Daniel Webb.
So for me, that probably would, without really seeing a lot, would say excellent changeup of one kind or another, whether it's a splitter or whatever.
Taking a good 10 miles an hour off that fastball with the changeup. That is a good pitch.
So we start the 7th. It has not been a rapidly paced game, but a very intriguing game at 7-7. Chris Carter leads it off. Chris 1 for 2. Drills one to left center field, and it's not going to be caught. One hop up against the wall. Carter chugs for second base. He's in with a slide, a leadoff double. So Webb comes on and gets touched up on his first pitch. 14 Houston hits on the day.
Time now for the Mako big hit of the game, and here it is. Matt Dominguez getting a mistake from John Danks. Fastball down the middle, and more than ready was Matt Dominguez hitting this ball 429 feet into left center field, much to the delight of Houston Astros. A lot of raking going on today.
There is a lot of that. That home run by Matt Dominguez was a bomb to left center. 2 for 3 on the day. Day started as Matt grounded into a double play in the first inning, but he has tuned it up a bit. RBI single in the 3rd. That 2-run bomb in the 5th. 3 RBIs give Matt 42 for the year.
Robin Ventura getting that bullpen going.
Ground ball, a fair ball, and down the left field side. Carter froze, but he's going to score easily on another double. Matt Dominguez and Chris Carter back to back to start the 7th, and the Astros have retaken the lead 8-7.
Trading places, that's a good thing. 14th double on the season for Matt Dominguez. Got himself another RBI. States galore this afternoon here in Chicago. It's good to see the Astros offense jumping back, taking that lead back away from the Chicago White Sox after they answered with that 3-run bottom of the 6th inning.
So Matt Dominguez, the first on to 3 hits this afternoon. John Singleton is 1 for 3 with the bat, but he's had a rough day defensively. Takes a strike. His lone hit coming in the 5th inning. And still LJ HOU's the only member of this lineup for Houston without a hit on the day. Ball and a strike on John. Okay, I guess it depends where we turn. 0-2 I think is the real count.
Yeah,
Scoreboard
pitch up and away was a strike.
Yeah, first, the scoreboard in left field has 1-1, but we will go with the CSN folks. And now 1-2. Matt Dominguez held close to the back there at second. Little dribbler back to the mound, and Dominguez freezes, stays there at second. Out number 1 is Singleton, grounds out. So Matty D stays in place at second base. Carlos Corporon comes to the plate.
Tough AB right there. You'd like to see him try and yank something, move that runner over to third base.
The Astros having a good time. 15 hits on the afternoon. A couple of those long balls. Altuve his 3rd. That was a 2-run job. Another 2-run job. Matt Dominguez, his 12th of the year. And Corpy swings through it. Carlos Corporon 1 for 3 on his day. The Astros nowhere close to the most runs they've scored in a game this year. That was 14 back on June 8th at Minnesota. A couple of grand slams in that game, aiding things. Ball and a strike on Carlos. In terms of hits, they're getting close. Just 2 back with the 15 hits today of their most 17 this year. That at the Texas Rangers July 7th. Outfield straight up on Carlos.
We haven't seen Robin Ventura throw many shifts out there against Astro hitters.
I have a sense that guys like Robin Ventura that played a long time have seen both sides of the coin and are a little more cautious with that sort of move. I know a lot of pitchers that I've played with had a real tough time with a lot of shifting out of position. Courtney fouls it. It's 2-2. A nice play down the left field side, second tank.
Ball's getting up there in a hurry too. Nice grab.
Looks like a ball player. After Webb takes a while, Corpy steps back. Readjusts the glove. Resets the helmet. Two count. Half swing. He went through the home plate umpire. Patillo takes it. Calls Corpy out. And that tag applied by Nieto. Second out of the 7th inning. That'll bring up Robbie Grossman. Seven strikeouts of Houston hitters. Danks, Thompson, and Webb for the White Sox on the hill. It's been Cozart, Downs, Veras, and Sip for Houston. The Astros with a big run here in the 7th to retake the lead. That one nowhere close. 2-0 the count. That gun here in Chicago makes a lot of pitchers look like very hard throwers.
I want to get out there and throw.
You ready?
Hey, well, a bottle of Advil later, I might be loose.
That's okay.
Yeah. And tomorrow,
yeah,
I have some serious issues.
But that's okay. I mean, you can deal with it tomorrow.
It'll be worth it.
3-0 the count. Robbie Grossman is 2 for 3 on his day. Has driven in a run. LJ Hose waits on deck, and we mentioned LJ still looking for that first knock. And they're going to eventually intentionally pass Robbie Grossman. He'll head on down to first base. That's an intentional walk. It'll bring up LJ Hose.
LJ's going to get a shot at that first knock. A good time to get it, too. A little insurance run.
So runners at first and second. Hose has struck out, flied out, and grounded into a double play. 170 for LJ, and sure love to see him get it going. Fastball right down the chute at 97. I think if I was pitching, I'd like to throw here in Chicago. Let that radar gun work on my stuff.
I would shake off every off-speed pitch my catcher gave me. Like, oh wait, let's light this thing up.
Ain't seen nothing yet. Watch this fastball. That fastball is fouled back. That's just getting on LJ right now.
Say so. Even though the gun might be juiced a little bit, Daniel Webb has plenty in that arm.
How did you try to adjust to a guy that had the extra gas?
I just tried to be a little bit quicker, get that foot down a little bit earlier. I didn't necessarily try and open up and swim harder.
Line drive. That's a fair ball down the right field side. This will produce at least one. Here comes Matt Dominguez. RBI double LJ Hose, and how about that? A nice way to break out of a tough time. 9-7 Houston on top.
It's a nice way to break out of it. Get beat on a couple, then just go right back to what we got used to seeing at the end of last year. Just getting on top of it, ripping it down that right field line. Let some of that velocity do the work for you.
Oh, that's a sweetheart.
That is sweet. You can see Nieto wanted that ball elevated. This ball down in the zone, and LJ gets on top of it. Places it perfectly on that right field line.
Double number 5 for LJ, and it comes at a great time. And trail runner Robbie Grossman gets to third base. Watching that ball go down in the corner, you kind of hoped it would get all the way down 335 into the corner.
Yeah, rattle around a little bit and give Grossman a chance to get around.
And now a base hit from Marwin Gonzalez, and you might put a huge insurance pair on the board. 16 Houston hits, one shy of the season high. Good for LJ.
Not sure if you caught it, but looking down in the dugout, at the end of the dugout, Altuve and Springer, as soon as that ball hit fair territory, both jumped out of the dugout with their arms up, so they were happy to see.
Good to see.
LJ HOU's getting on the board.
2 for 3 for Marwin. He hits it in the air, shallow center, dropping, and it drops in front of Eaton. This will score a pair. Big hit from Marwin Gonzalez. And the Astros now with an 11-7 lead as they put 4 on the board right here in the 7th inning.
2 out RBIs by the Houston Astros. They are swinging it this afternoon. Some balls hit hard, some have just great placement. This one right here by Marwin gets it off the end of the bat a little bit, I'm assuming, because the ball didn't really jump off that bat at all. Eaton gave it everything he could, but no chance to come up with that shallow line drive.
Well, those 2 hits, LJ HOU's and Marwin Gonzalez, just enormous, as it now feels one-sided again, and that side is the Houston Astros side. Back to the top with Jose Altuve, 2 for 4 on the day. Had hits in his first 2 at bats. First pitch swinging, fouls it off. .337 that batting average. He's in a dogfight for that batting title right now. Of course, a long ways to go, but always fun to watch daily. Grounds one back up the middle. It's handled, and the force play at second. Ramirez to Beckham, and that'll do it. The Astros, though, a big 7th inning, 4 runs on the board, lead it 11-7. And we'll stay around now for God Bless America here in the middle of the 7th inning.
Ladies and gentlemen, at Major League ballparks across America each Sunday, the singing of God Bless America is performed in support of our country and our men and women stationed overseas. Please welcome Chicago's own 3 Men in Kilts for the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Today, USAA would like to pay special recognition to all of our service members at home and abroad. Sox were heading to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Astros get a test against the best in the American League West as we head to the Bay Area to take on the Oakland A's. Pregame Live starts at 8:30 Tuesday night on Comcast Sportsnet.
Big trade for the Oakland Athletics, getting some more starting pitching. Jason Hamill, Jeff Samardzija over there to increase their chances. But you can see what some of these excellent teams around the league do. They create that run differential. And they've got great pitching up in Oakland, great offense. The batting average isn't going to dazzle you, but the way they drive in runs is what's going to create that run differential. And clearly the leader of the pack with the Angels right behind them. Nationals and Dodgers in the National League leading. Yeah, some good ball clubs. And we talked about this before we came on air, how surprising it was to see the Seattle Mariners on that list.
Yep. Yeah, you don't generally think of the Mariners as scoring runs unless you saw that last series when the Mariners came to Houston.
Yeah, the times that we've seen them on the road wasn't overly spectacular, but I guess in recent days firing in all cylinders. Iwakuma back in that rotation.
Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, De Aza leads it off for the Sox. As the count is a ball and a strike, Tony Sipp on for his 2nd inning. Sipp came on and got Gillespie to end the 6th inning. And that was a big out. The Astros were scuffling to get that final out. 26,256 on hand here this afternoon. So 3 nice crowds in Chicago. Good swing by De Aza. He fouls it back. 1-2 the count. At the moment, I believe, as I look at things, Jose Altuve is back leading the American League in hitting at 337. Robinson Cano and Adrian Beltre right behind. Very intriguing race. Line shot down the right field side and deep in the corner, but going foul. De Aza gets in front, hooks it a bit too much.
Good day to be a pitcher. Everything's getting barreled up around here.
Now talk about barreling up. The Astros with their 17 hits to go with 11 runs, tied for the most hits they've had on the season. Big day.
It's good stuff.
And the hitters should be delightful on the way to the West Coast.
Well, they should.
Outfield shading to left on De Aza. Slider got him. Tony Sipp just continues to dominate hitters, especially the lefties.
Yeah, he's real good. He's got the numbers to back it up.
Five strikeouts for Houston pitching. That's amazing. You come out of spring training and you think you know who the 25 guys are going to be. Then comes along a guy like Tony Sipp and certain guys it just doesn't work for, and it's just a constant evolution of a ball club. Sipp finds the strike zone. 8-hitter Gordon Beckham at the plate. Second baseman for the White Sox, 1 for 3 on the day.
It's great to see. You know, it's all about the opportunity. Some guys are going to run with it. Some guys aren't going to have the greatest success with it. But Tony Sipp is more than taking the advantage of the situation.
I know I'm guilty of seeing a ball club come together that final day, sometimes even a day or so after the final day of official spring training. You know your actual 25 and you think, okay, this is the ball club. Where are they going to finish this year? And you put all your hopes in those 25. But very seldom do you even come close to those guys lasting long.
Well, the baseball season's just too long and too many things happen throughout 162 games.
Well, how often do you get through the first month of the year and still have some semblance of that original 25?
No, that's a great call.
Two and 1 the count. One out here in the 7th. Tony Sipp trying to keep it right here at 11-7. The Astros have had 3 innings in which they've scored more than just 1 run. 3 in the 3rd, 3 in the 5th, 4 in the 7th. Foul ball back on the right side. 2-2 on Beckham. Jonathan VR figured to be the everyday shortstop and was for a good long time. But for whatever reason, things have not worked out for VR this year. Who was Kike Hernandez back in spring training?
He was just Enrique.
Yeah, it's really the truth. I mean, a name on a roster that you might be able to look up.
Back into the game filler that would come in the 5th inning and relieve some of these guys, but now he's hitted himself into the lineup.
Little did we know that Dallas Keuchel would vie for a spot on the All-Star team. That Jared Cozart, well, maybe we thought this could be the case, would be looking for his 10th win today. Line drive to short, handled routinely by Marwin. Second out here in the inning. And with 2 outs, bases empty, the catcher will stand in. Adrian Nieto, 1 for 3 on his day. In the 4th inning, reached on an error charge to Jonathan Singleton, John Singleton. And it was a big play in that inning. A couple of runs for the White Sox.
Speaking of opportunities, this Nieto kid hasn't played above A ball, gets Rule 5 drafted by the Chicago White Sox, has to stay on their roster at the big league level. If he doesn't, he goes back to the Washington Nationals if they want him. But here he is hitting 260.
They can swing the bat, it would appear anyway. Hits it on the ground. That'll make a rough time for Matt Dominguez, but he makes the play in the end. A 1-2-3 7th. Tony Sipp just continues to be outstanding. Sox here in Chicago. The Astros trying to even the series on the season at 3 games apiece. That is Carlton Fisk, one of the great catchers the game has ever seen. And maybe surprising to a lot of folks that he played more games in Chicago as a member of the White Sox than he did with the Boston Red Sox. 24 seasons in the big leagues. It's a guy that had his knee blown out early in his career. 11 of those years with the Red Sox, 13 with the White Sox. He was the Rookie of the Year in '72. 11 times an All-Star. I don't know what happened those other years. Won the Gold Glove only once. 3 Silver Slugger awards and a Hall of Fame inductee in 2000, and very deserving. Carlton Fisk, he was absolutely fantastic. And you may recall the home run that he hit in the postseason at Fenway Park, where he just kept pushing and pushing to the first base side, saying stay fair. 72 was the number as a White Sox, 27 as a Boston Red Sox. Carlton Fisk, one of the great catchers of all time. So the White Sox bring on a left-hander now to work it here in the 8th inning. The Astros put 4 huge runs on the board in the 7th inning. Eric Surkamp is that left-hander.
He's going to have a fastball for you, slider, changeup, curveball. Got all 4 pitches coming out of that White Sox bullpen.
Surkamp has his pitch fouled down the right field side. A ball and a strike. Kike Hernandez getting the start in center field today. Has had a couple of hits in 4 at-bats. Made a couple of mistakes with throws, trying to be too aggressive, maybe trying to do too much in center field. But it can happen. Two and 1 the count on Kike. Had a first inning single. That might have been one of the big hits of the ball game after Jose Altuve led off with a knock. Altuve was on the move and Hernandez found the vacated spot at shortstop. Just hit a slow roller through there. And that got that first run on the board for the Astros. Fly ball to right center field. Handled in right center. And out number 1 making the play, Viciedo. I'll bring up Chris Carter. And Carter is 2 for 3. Sac fly. He is doubled twice. He scored a pair of runs and driven in a run. Nice day for CC.
You see him getting back in the swing of things too. Headed into that All-Star break pretty hot.
Looked at the time like he might have shortened the stroke a bit, just kind of using the strength in the hands rather than trying to apply all of the body power. That might be one of the few high strikes I think we've seen all day long. By high, I mean up around the belt buckle.
Not too many being called around there.
Ball and a strike on Chris. Batting average at .205 for Carter. Carter, 27 years of age. Already had that year with Houston last year where he hit 29 bombs. Drove in 82. But he also struck out 212 times. That in 148 games. So that's a lot of punch-outs. Takes a close one off the inside edge. 2-2 the count.
Pretty much an incredible amount of punch outs.
212 in 148. And now the count at 3-2. Yeah, that's a pace that would be tough to pursue. This is game number 84 for Carter this year. Chris has not struck out today. 104 on his season in this season and takes one just below the knee. So a couple of close pitches, but Carter draws the 1-out walk. Matt Dominguez has had a huge day. Grounded into a double play to end the first inning. Since then, he's 3 for 3. He has singled plating a run. He has homered plating 2 and then double driving in another run in the 7th inning. So Matt Dominguez with the 3 hits today, now hitting .240.
He is definitely one of the more streaky hitters for the Houston Astros.
Has been that. Eric Surkamp actually has 4 saves for these White Sox. It's a back end of the bullpen that has not really been well ordered to this point. Missing badly, it's 3-0.
Surkamp doesn't want to give up that triple.
You looking for the cycle? That's right.
Yeah, we talked about Brandon Barnes the other day.
So what would it take to get a triple here for the Astros' 3rd sacker?
We're going to swing it. Do you want my honest opinion, or do you want? Because I like Matt. I mean, he's one of my boys.
He's great.
He plays a great third base. He's raking right now.
You know,
but there would have to be maybe a physical injury out there somewhere.
Might be. Maybe a combined pair of injuries. 3-2 the count on Matty D.
He was settling for a second jack with that swing.
Matt has not tripled, by the way, this year. He did not triple last year. Does have a pair on his career. Like I would have room to talk.
That makes 2 of us.
3-2 pitch got him swinging. So Matt Dominguez has been figured out here in the 8th inning. That's the 2nd out. It'll bring up John Singleton. Eight strikeouts for the Astros this afternoon. At this point, it's really in the hands of the bullpen. Singleton has a couple of the strikeouts. He's 1 for 4 on the day. Runner goes from first, the pitch a ball, and no throw on down. So a stolen base for Chris Carter. And we mentioned the Astros 2nd best in the league in stolen bases. But you don't anticipate this one. Carter with his first bag of the year. He's 1 for 2.
See the jump he got?
You're not going to get thrown out many times with that jump.
I mean, even for Chris Carter, I mean, that's a long time to home plate for Surkamp. Going on first move, Chris Carter was, and by the time that ball was released, he was more than halfway to second base.
Stolen base number 78 for the club. Again, only the Royals in front of Houston in that regard.
He's got a couple knocks and RBIs, or an RBI on the days. Maybe talking more about that stolen base on the plane probably than all the hits and RBI stuff he had going on today.
Well, you can put that stolen base on the board for Chris.
Surprised he didn't pick up the base and show it to everybody. Today, I consider myself greatest base stealer of all time.
Ricky Henderson had the line for that one.
Oh, yeah, he did.
I am now the greatest of all time, I believe. Was that the quote?
Yes, it was.
Two and two the count on Singleton. I wonder who wrote that speech.
Oh, Ricky did. Ricky.
That was Ricky speaking for Ricky. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball got him. Down on strikes, 3rd time today, Singleton. That'll do it in the 8th inning. There was a walk. Carter with his first bag of the year.
7-7, bottom of the 8th. And as promised earlier in the game, it's time to show you the AT&T fan photo of the game. Today, it's Kristen tweeting her little Jose Altuve fan, enjoying some peanuts, and that cotton candy looks good. Tweet your photo to hashtag CSNH fan photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. That's brought to you by AT&T. Guys.
Thanks a lot, Julia. How come you get all the cute stuff to do?
I know.
What else is going on out there? You having fun?
I am having a great time. Yeah. I'm in the shade. Feels good down here. What perfect weather we had this series.
And you're in the shade, right?
Yes.
Ball club is scoring runs. Everything's happy in the dugout.
That's right.
I feel like dancing.
We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Astros enjoying an 11-7 lead here in the 8th. Out hitting the White Sox 17-10 on the day. It's Tony Sipp once again. He's gotten 4 outs already. He'll work it to Adam Eaton leading off here in the 8th inning. The Astros have the right-hander Josh Fields loosening in their pen as the first pitch is fouled back. And this could, I guess, be the last man that Tony Sipp faces. Well, Porter has been inclined to make a number of changes within innings now in recent times. Eaton, Ramirez, and Abreu for the White Sox, top 3 in the order. Jared Cozart lasted just 5 today, 7 hits and 4 runs, 3 of them earned. But he also walked 4 while striking out 4. When it was all said and done, he could only get the 5 innings because of 104 pitches at that point, and just 59 strikes for Jared. Aaron Downs threw a third of an inning. He's charged with an earned run. Jose Veras 1/3 of an inning. He gave up 2 runs, 1 of those earned. And now Tony Sipp just continues to deal for the club. Fastball just inside. 2-2 the count. John Danks started for the White Sox, and he was giving it up today. 4 1/3 innings, 12 hits, 7 runs against him, all earned. Robin Ventura had to get him out in the 5th inning. He didn't walk a man, striking out 4 on the day, but 2 home runs against Danks. And now 3-2. And for Tony Sipp, it's a guy you've got to get starting the inning. Three-two pitch, and Eaton eventually gets himself the walk to start the inning. Here comes Bo Porter. That's going to do it for Tony Sipp. So, as we surmised, Sipp was on here in the 8th inning just to face the left-handed bat of Eaton. He walks him, so nobody out. Eaton aboard as Ramirez, Abreu come to the plate, and the right-hander will come on. That is Josh Fields. He'll jog it in from right. 11-7, Astros on top.
One of the things about Tony Sipp that I enjoy watching is the complete passion and energy he puts into everything he does, and obviously not content with himself after walking Adam Eaton in this inning and then being removed. I don't think that so much has anything to do with being removed. I think he's thoroughly upset with himself because he feels it was his job to get Adam Eaton out, and he did not do that. And giving up a walk was not the way he wanted to have that guy get on and come out of this game. I appreciate the passion. I thought it was kind of funny, too, to see how the rest of his teammates let him. They just cleared the way and let him come in. They're going pretty good down there, I guess.
Imagine. Josh Fields comes on 2-4 with a 481. He'd been very good in recent times. The strikeout has been such a big part of his game.
Saw a couple of good changeups from Josh Fields last time he came out and pitched for the Houston Astros.
He has been featuring that changeup, the good over-the-top curveball. And it's making his fastball much better.
Absolutely.
No George Springer in the lineup today, and yet the Astros with 17 hits, 11 runs, 4-run lead here in the 8th inning. It's a ball and a strike. Shortstop Alexi Ramirez at the plate. Since Josh Fields was recalled from AAA on May 14th, he's had an ERA of 0.83. And now gets in front, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's all right.
That'll work in most pinches.
Making adjustments right there. That's pretty good.
He's had 35 strikeouts in that span, just 12 hits allowed, 4 walks. And that's really getting it done. Nobody out here in the 8th. And the high heat gets him. So there's that ability for Fields to come in and get the strikeout, out number 1 in the 8th inning. It'll bring up Jose Abreu. And, you know, we've talked a lot about Jose Abreu and George Springer, rightfully so. A couple of the game's great young power hitters. You can see some of the comparisons between the two.
Well, and you get to that part of the season where you're going to see how things finish out and you start getting votes for that Rookie of the Year, which I'm sure both of these guys are going to be mentioned in. Obviously, Abreu getting that extra month on George early in the season. It's some fantastic numbers between two power sources here in the American League.
First pitch on Abreu misses. 1 ball and no strikes. Did you get the sense with Josh Fields that he's starting to take that step forward and become maybe as good as that big arm can be?
I think so. You want to see a guy go out there with confidence, and since coming back and he stated that he had those great numbers, I think there's a lot more confidence in Josh Fields for whatever reason. Maybe it is that changeup, you know, adding that to the repertoire, but being a little more confident in that fastball. You can see him climb the ladder with that thing to get the punch out on Alexi.
I felt like last year and maybe earlier this year there were times when he'd be 95, 96 and guys were hitting him. And I just feel like the other pitches are starting to help him a bit, make that fastball much more deceptive. A swing and a miss, snap throw by Carlos down to first. It's 1-2.
Well, not only do you have to locate your pitches, which you could throw 89 and locate and have a great success, but you also got to keep the hitters off balance. You know, keep their eyes moving, change levels. Don't give them one speed to sit on.
Yeah. I just completely agree. And you know, there are guys, and I think there are a lot of guys where you go, I don't understand why this guy's fastball gets hit the way it does. That's the way I felt in watching Josh Fields a lot of the time.
Well, and for Josh, if that curveball wasn't on, he was a one-pitch pitcher. Now he's got that changeup to go in there to fight off some tough left-handed hitters throughout the league. But all you got to do is plant that seed and say, well, he can throw that curveball for a strike. Well, he has developed a changeup he can throw for a strike. But I think you're completely right in saying that those other pitches set up the fastball that much better because it's already electric as it is. But if you give a big leaguer a chance just to sit on it, they're going to hammer it.
His fastball gets on the hands. Count stays at 1-2.
Julia.
Julia got her glove?
Went down in the camera well where she's normally hanging out. Hopefully she's all right.
Oh, Julia.
Oh, I'm good, guys.
Yeah, everything's
Okay.
good?
Just making
Thumbs up
sure.
over here.
Are you down there? Is that
Oh, yeah. I'm down here.
it's right in your paid seat area, right?
That's right.
I thought I saw you trying to reach out and catch it.
No. That would not be me.
Got him swinging. Fastball blown on by. Second straight strikeout for Fields. 2 down in the 8th inning. Eaton still at first base as Adam Dunn comes to the plate.
97 miles an hour from Josh Fields to put away the great hitting rookie, and Jose Abreu just blew the doors off him right there.
Abreu, you know, is going to go up there and get his best hack. But sometimes this fastball of Josh Fields is just not reachable. He's got that over-the-top angle, too, that I think can create problems. Adam Dunn takes a strike. Dunn on the day 0 for 3. One of those a ground out driving in a run. He's also drawn a walk. Call him the big donkey. Very good guy.
He's a great guy.
And lives in the North Houston area. One of my favorite guys around. 0-2 the count. Shift on Altuve in right field. But fastball just blown by. 3 straight strikeouts by Josh Fields. After that leadoff walk issued by Sip, it remains 11-7 Houston.
Seven, and just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And it is Matt Dominguez's moments that he's had this afternoon here in Chicago. Swinging the bat pretty good against the Chicago White Sox. Got off to a rough start for Matt Dominguez, grounding into that double play, but he finished the day pretty good, going 3 for 5. Base hit with an RBI, and then he, 5th inning, got a fastball from John Danks, hit it well into the left center field bleachers for a 2-run home run, and then a double that drove in another run. Chris Carter scoring that run for Matt Dominguez. So fantastic afternoon for Matt Dominguez, and he's looking forward to that flight after this game out to the West Coast.
I like your confidence, as you've already predicted the day is done for Matt Dominguez with the bat. It's 11-7 Houston as we go to the 9th.
I'd like to see him hit some more. One more hit would be a season high in hits for the Houston Astros.
Carlos Corporon will start things here in the 9th inning against new right-hander Javi Guerra in his 20th appearance for the White Sox this year. ERA at 3.32. And 1 to Corpy. For Carlos, 1 for 4 on the day. I think the big thing for the catchers is that meaningful win that you come home with every day that you go out and start behind the plate. High chopper over the mound. Tough play. Ramirez spins and got it. In the end, winds up making it look fairly easy, but that's a big time major league play.
That was real nice. Long, lanky strides from Alexei Ramirez. See the jump he gets. Does a good job. That spin. Bet you had a pretty good idea who was running to first base, too. Just a fine play. Unfortunately, Carlos Corcoran has nothing to show for it. He's got those long arms, those long legs.
With one out, it brings up Robbie Grossman, who's had himself a nice day. 2 for 3. He's also drawn a walk, scored a run, driven in a run. Starting to pick it up a bit. Robbie now hitting 193. Starting to get near one of those exit ramps off the interstate.
It's good to see.
Inside edge, 1 and 2 now to Robbie.
Gosh, you just tweeted.
I did. You notice that?
Attaboy. Wow. Oh, it's a red alert over here when you send out a tweet. It's my phone lights up.
I'm surprised you'd find that because I never see you on the phone. You know what? I don't know how to do it, but
well, apparently you do. You accomplished it. I'm proud of you, man.
Getting there. Thanks. I've sent out a few recently. I'm trying, folks. Believe me. Robbie takes strike 3. Caught looking. Second out here in the 9th inning. It'll bring up LJ Hose, who's just 1 for 4 on the day. But LJ had a huge knock in the 7th inning with 2 outs. Lined one down the right field side, drove in a run, and set up a big 2-out, 2-run single by Marwin Gonzalez. And those runs are enormous in this ballgame.
Yeah, that's really what set things off in that inning. Big 2-out RBIs. It's good to see LJ getting that done.
That strikeout of Robbie Grossman puts the Astros into double digits again today. That's 10 of them. LJ stings it on a hop. What a play by Abreu. From his seat, he'll make the toss. What a play. So Jose Abreu, not just a slugger, but apparently some leather down at first. 11-7 Houston. Net is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO and buy your local Acura dealer. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Astros trying to protect an 11-7 lead. Trying to make it 1 out of 3 here in this series in Chicago. But on the season, they would split things in 6 games against the White Sox. Chad Qualls now with that 9th inning assignment to shut it down.
Done a pretty good job, Chad Qualls has. Look at that 11th. Guess he's not going to get the save. Not bad.
No save opportunity.
No save opportunity, but a good guy to have in this situation, putting up great numbers.
Yesterday, Chad Qualls picked up his career 700th appearance, so he starts another one here. 701 for Chad. And the first pitch outside for the White Sox. 5, 6, 7 coming up. Viciedo, Gillespie, and De Aza. Ground ball to short. Marwin's there. And 1 out. So Qualls comes on, gets his first hitter, Viciedo.
Yeah, Qualls has been eating up right-handed hitting all year long.
Filthy sinker.
Real filthy. Firm, too.
One out as Gillespie comes to the plate. Connor Gillespie hitting .323. He's had a solid season. "11 runs on 17 hits by Houston. They match a season high with the 17 hits. They also committed 3 errors. There could have been 1 more mixed in there, and that might have helped in terms of the numbers on the afternoon. Jared Cozart touched up 5 innings, 3 earnings against him with 4 runs scored overall. Fly ball shallow center field. Coming on with the jump. Kike Hernandez makes the play. 2 down. 1 out away. The Astros can have an enjoyable trip all the way out to the West Coast.
Happy flight.
Two down. De Aza comes to the plate. From the stretch, Chad Qualls tries to close out the afternoon, and the pitch is hit in the air. This should do it. Kike Hernandez, glasses gleaming, stares up, makes the catch, and a 1-2-3 9th inning for Chad Qualls. The Astros pick up a much-needed victory, their first here in the second half, as they defeat the White Sox. On the year, they go 3-3 with Chicago, and a nice one for the club as the bats come alive. Bo Porter and company
happy flight.
Enjoy this afternoon. So it's all Astros this afternoon with a late rally. 11-7 that final.